Joe has never seen that video until just now. So what you're getting is the 100% raw reaction.
That's crazy.
So,
Bro.
peek, as one likes to say, peek behind the curtain, right? So, usually I come to the guests and I'm like, hey, send me whatever promotional material you want. And also send me some clips so I can do my thing. So they know exactly, they may not know what order or how I'm going to chop the clips up, but they know what clips are going to be in it. But with Joe is named JoAfterWork for a reason. This is a very busy man right here. And so I just took the liberty of saying, you know what? Let's look at what his top clips are.
Oh no.
And pull some. What you saw was a culmination. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. If you filter, it will filter that way.
Unfortunately. Oh my gosh.
And
Your chat loves you. That's what that means. Your chat loves you.
As soon as I seen that first one, I was like, oh no, this the top clip section. Hold up. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh no. But can I just say Rhea Ripley's Game Shark? Because let me tell you, that match I tried for 30 minutes straight and she would not stay in that ambulance.
So when we make created wrestlers from mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we happen to make women, we put them up against Becky and Rhea.
Holy.
And we know that they're ready for mouth if they can beat them, if they can beat those two.
Wow. That's wild. They're the highest stats characters, I guess.
Well, yeah, but understand with mouth, your character can be no higher than an 80. So, if you can beat one of those women as an 80, yeah, you cooking.
Wow,
you cooking.
That's the developmental right there.
You cooking.
Oh man, WWE being developmental for mouth. That's it.
Listen. Word on the street is they steal from mouth, so we got to steal from them.
They're taking the riders.
Not even word on the street; it's accurate.
Oh man,
how many of the storylines that we've had?
A lot, and
randomly used.
Right, and it'd be like a week or two behind each other. Like in mouth, we'll do something, and then like a week or two after WWE, you'll see it on WWE TV. Like,
nah, you have a mole inside, dude. You got somebody working for them.
Happens.
Oh my gosh.
The fave is to blame No ID, but see, it's been happening so much that it was happening before No ID got there. So we can't really say it was No ID fault, but there's a leak somewhere.
Y'all got to find the mole now. You got to write that into it. Oh man.
It's not.
Oh man, Hobbs, I see you. Tiffany Chanel, what's going on?
Even though I just found out my brother does know a lot of wrestlers, not.
You just found out that your brother knows what now? Say that again.
Like my brother knows a bunch of like indie what I've talked to you about off stream, like indie wrestlers and working with a bunch of them.
So
it's not me though.
Yates, I think your mic is doing their thing again.
It did it again. Yep. God dang it. My mic's sabotaging me. This time it's not the cats.
I'm pretty sure Zoe's gonna make an appearance at some point.
She shouldn't. The door's closed today.
So she's gonna be pissed at you when you get off.
Yeah.
The funny thing is when Gambit's pissed at me, finds a way to quite literally show me his ass.
That's just
Leave him
endearment,
alone.
though, no?
Huh?
Leave him
that was like
alone.
yeah. They show you your butt. They're like extra comfortable with you.
Well,
That's like the I love you.
no, not when it concerns Gambit. Gambit get upset, and that's when you see it.
Oh my god.
Then don't make him upset.
No,
It's just that simple. Don't make him upset.
he's an asshole, and he knows he's an asshole.
Whoa. That's not nice.
No, he's an
That's
asshole.
rude.
Oh man. He's showing you what he is then. You know, he's like, all right, here you go. I'm an asshole. I'm gonna show you asshole.
You know what? That's accurate. That's accurate. I never thought about
Oh
it that
man. It's the retaliation of being a pet owner. Oh man.
So we don't. I think I said this pre-show. We only have one scheduled question here. That question being, when did Joe fall in love with wrestling?
Man. So memory will be a little hazy, but it was definitely right around Attitude Era. But I wasn't originally watching WWF at the time first. It was actually WCW. I know, actually, you know what? It probably would have been Attitude Era at that point because it was Raw's War at that point, and Nitro started at 8 o'clock. My bedtime as a kid was 9 o'clock.
Right.
So I was able to watch the first hour of Nitro, right? They had the cruiserweights on. They were always up first. Like that was the jam to get you in. That's how I learned about Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio Jr. Like those are my guys over there.
Right.
And then when I would visit my grandmother on the weekends, my uncle would bring over the VHS tapes recorded for Raw and the rest of Nitro. So that's how I caught up on wrestling. I would always watch it at my grandmother's on the weekends on VHS tapes. So there'd be like 4 hours of wrestling. Yeah, there'd be like 4 hours of wrestling that I would just catch up on right after like the Saturday morning cartoons and everything. So I had my Pokemon, my Yu-Gi-Oh, and then I had wrestling.
Shout out to Joe for having the plug while the rest of us had to sneak out of the bedroom. The rest of us had to sneak out of the bedroom and hope that they didn't hear us turn on the big, gigantic flow model TV.
Because I at least knew that. And then, my goodness, I don't know how many people remember this. I might be really extremely dating myself, but like in the newspapers, the next day you would always see, well, the day after you would always see the results for like all the wrestling shows and like one of the particular, I guess like with all the other sports or something like that.
Right.
And my dad had taught me that. So if I wanted to see who won that night on Raw on Wednesday, I would find out who'd win all the matches before going into watching like the shows and stuff like that over the weekend. And then it was the same thing for SmackDown. I think it was like on a 2-day delay as far as like the results and everything like that. But I think no, it was Thursday Night SmackDown. So that was UPN, and that started at 8. And that one, I was locked in for the first hour, and the same thing. I would get that extra hour afterwards.
Oh wow, that's
yeah. I got lucky with that. I got lucky with the tape.
Yeah, you definitely did. 'Cause I can't tell you how many times I've had to. I recently, as recent as maybe a month ago, found out that my mom actually knew what I was doing. But
parents always know. That's the thing.
Of course she knew.
But
she let you think you got away with it.
I would sneak out of my room, turn on the TV, and then back then those TVs made a sound.
Yep.
And even if you turn the volume all the way down, you could still kind of hear it. And and then it had white noise on top of it, so you knew that the TV was on, and it was super duper bright because back in those days, instead of having like pixels, there was a big ass lamp behind
Good old fashioned
The
tube
TVs
TV.
were like this wide, and like you can't carry those things like you can carry a freaking like flat screen now. It's a
Right.
whole weight.
Jesus.
Oh man! Shout out CRTs for real.
I tell you what. Next time you decide to go on a date, if she doesn't know what a gauze is, she's too young for you.
Freaking! I remember having to. I mean, this is for like N64 and like the SNES, like having to change the thing to channel 3 or 4 depending on the RF switch on that.
Right.
I don't miss those days.
I don't either. That's what always reminds me of whenever I think of a CRT is turning it on, seeing the white noise come up, the high frequency pop up, and then like
praying to God that the game starts and you don't have to blow your insides.
Don't blow the cartridge. Dude,
how many
oh my God,
bro,
had to clean like with rubbing alcohol
and Q-tips.
Like I used to run a vintage like I used to sell vintage video games with my brother, and we would buy them from people, and he would have me clean them. Like I would take them fully apart and like scrub all the parts to it. Make sure they were clean. Rubbing alcohol,
all that dried up spittle.
Oh God, it was horrible.
I hated it.
Oh, I just got the visual in my head. I never even thought about that until now. Dang, like every used cart. Oh no,
because we used to blow them shits until they whistled. Like we used to blow them shits until they whistled. We used to, yeah. So I could see where. Oh God.
Oh wow. That just changed my brain forever.
That was delegated.
And that was definitely pre-goddamn that was definitely pre-goddamn COVID, because we were doing that shit to rented games. No telling.
Oh my God.
Blockbuster game.
No wonder why I never got sick. I must have had like every damn like bacteria in my system from like right. Everyone else's spittle on there. Oh my God, bro!
Jesus Christ!
Oh man,
that's crazy. What's going on, Midas? How you feeling? And did you see the teaser for the new TMNT game? That's a conversation that we can like have off screen, off whatever. But yeah, bro.
Like it just dropped today? Today?
So the teaser happened. Yeah. The teaser happened, I want to say 2 days ago, but it's a VR game.
Really?
Now there was a game that both me and Mike has already started playing it. I haven't created my content for it yet, but Mike, we got a game. It's almost like a TMNT virtual tabletop almost. That's what it kind of feels like. It's a tactical RPG, but it's turtles. That's
okay. Yeah. That one I knew of. I didn't know they were doing a VR joint. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Shoot. They teased it 2 days ago.
Yeah, you lost me at VR, unfortunately.
The size and stuff. Yeah. I don't have anything to run it, but like, dude, that sounds awesome.
No, the crazy thing is, like, I'm so glad that they're starting to get like some love, because, bro, Call of Duty did that shit right. Like the Turtles Call of Duty shit that they did, amazing.
That throws me off so much.
They gave them so basically what they did was they gave you the turtle skins, but you had to, like, you could buy the turtle skins, but you couldn't buy Splinter. You had to earn them through a special pass doing a special event. Now in the special event, it was basically zombies, but the zombies were dressed the zombies looked like foot soldiers. And
that's dope.
And you the voice that you heard that was antagonizing you through the whole thing was Crane. And then
get out of here.
When you died, you heard the Shredder's laugh. But if you X-filled, April O'Neil was driving the Channel 5 chopper.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's cool. Damn.
My favorite skin would have to be Michelangelo in that. To answer your question, Mike, my favorite skin would have to be the Michelangelo skin. My favorite weapon, because you got to use their weapons. My favorite weapon was Leonardo's katanas.
Dude, oh damn, they threw the weapons in there too. I mean, that makes sense, but like,
so like you could get a power up that basically took the gun away, and all you could use was the weapons. But the weapons were one hit, and you're done. Like it was like I forgot what they call it, but yeah. So like
that's like your alt or whatever the heck,
right? So like if you tap the enemy one time, no matter what the enemy was, you tap it one time and it's dead.
Damn,
that's cool. That's dope.
But understand. The enemies and the zombies, they will surround you. So just because you could one tap them, don't mean that you wasn't gonna get your ass beat.
yeah. I hadn't played Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2. I want to say no, Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 was the last one I played, but I only played the story on that one. But to see that evolution and how wild the last it's Warzone now, right? That's what they do now.
That's the free to play thing, but what I'm talking about was specific to Black Ops 6.
Oh, okay. Because I was I know that they were adding WWE characters in there at one point. Isn't oh my god, what's her name? Oh shoot,
Rhea Ripley, Rey Mysterio, and Cody, I think.
Yeah, and Nicki Minaj is in it too, right? There's these many random people.
But that was Rhea. I mean, not Rhea. Nicki Minaj was not Modern Warfare 3, but the Call of Duty before.
Damn, so they were all in different ones, and
right. So
I'm so behind, man.
So the Nicki Minaj skin dropped at the same time that the Snoop Dogg skin dropped.
I forgot about that. I remember when they were promoting those. Jesus.
But the crazy thing is, they're voiced by the actual people. Is what's nuts? Because I have a Skeletor skin, right?
Not
right, and it's voiced by Mark Hamill.
Get out of here!
Yeah,
no,
bro,
they spend money.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
That shit was crazy.
Get the Joker in there and throw him in there, dude.
Hey, listen, that's what kind of made me upset. Was they had already done for Call of Duty. They had already done the Shredder before they in the last Call of Duty. So when they brought the Turtles in this time, they didn't do the Shredder. But I was like, how can you do all of this and not give us a Shredder skin? Come on, bro.
They said licensing. Hold up. Wait.
Come on, bro. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still cool to play as them, and I still you can play as a. I also have. There were 2 versions of the Foot Soldier skin, and I have those too. But you earn those.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was great. Best time hands down. Because I only buy Call of Duty, or I only play Call of Duty for the zombies. I don't.
Okay, fair.
So when I realized that not only was it the Turtles, but it was a zombie event, I was like, oh yeah, sign me up. I'm in there. I'm in there. Because like, bro, you like it don't get no better than that.
Two of your favorite things combined.
Mm-hmm. Yates, your mic is doing the thing again.
Oh no. It's funny because I hear him fine on Discord. That's why I was like, oh, I didn't even realize there's like a change.
Is there a way I can like lock the thing? There used to be a red button.
I mean, you're good now. It's just I don't know. It's like whenever you stop talking, that's when it I guess decides. You know what? He's not talking. Let me turn down. I don't know.
Oop.
Let me go into my actual settings because like I got the plus thing on the computer. Let me
decided to reset. They said, hold on, wait a minute. Oh man.
But but yeah, so it the Turtles thing that was done very well. It was amazing. I know we don't typically do this. We're usually a WWE show, but God damn it, Joe is not a WWE person really. Joe is an AEW person. And when I tell you, I was like, okay, I got Joe coming. I have to watch I'm going to at least watch the AEW. I'm going to at least watch Sims. Cut it out.
I mean, if you want AEW coverage, you could join us. I'm about to get a virtual.
Yeah, you've definitely gonna get a virtual spanking. Yep.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh my god!
Oh, okay. Never mind. She's not gonna do it because she associates snapback Yates differently than she does regular Yates. Since Yates has on the snapback, he gets certain passes.
So, I did not actually watch I didn't watch the show at all. I watched highlights. So
tell me that you at least watched.
Fair.
Tell me you at least watched.
I watched
the
12-minute. I watched the 12-minute highlight video that they posted themselves, and that's what y'all got is me watching the 12minute highlight.
Boy, you did yourself a disservice because that goddamn PLE was 5 hours long, but also you know how I feel about AEW. I understand. Listen, I get it. but
it's also
I don't follow AEW either. But when I feel
about it is because of how when they have their wrestlers who come from WWE, it's like immediate fuck that other play. Like, that's why I've always had the issue with them.
Not this time. The only people
stand on your own without having them bash the other company.
They definitely did because they didn't mention or use WWE at all.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing is like I think we save those sort of Jericho podcasts now where they vent. but like on the shows, the only people that really make reference, and it's funny enough, they're not even WWE guys. It was like every now and again MJF used to do it. He's stopped now. And the other guy's not even on there right now because he's injured. But Eddie Kingston, whenever he's fighting a WWE guy, he would make a little nod at him.
Yeah.
But like he does it in a very good way. Like when Eddie Kingston's back, like he just has a way. He's like the most raw guy. Like for people that just got exposed to Mike Santana last night on NXT,
right.
Which I am so freaking happy about. Like, oh my god, you don't understand. I've been wanting this dude to like have something good happen to him. He's like the baby version of what Eddie Kingston is in terms of like he just speaks off his mind. There's no script. Like he's just very raw, so he stutters a lot sometimes, and like he's still learning, even though he's been in the business for like 15, 20 years now or something like that. Like he's I think close to my age, if not like a little bit younger. He's like 35, 36 or something like that. But like dude, he's great. He's really good like for like promos and stories and stuff like that.
Eddie's a there's no two ways about him. You either love Eddie or you hate Eddie.
Yeah,
I saw Eddie live. And bro, when I tell you that this old man can go, like you could give me a PLE and just give me peak Samoa Joe and peak Eddie and just let them motherfuckers.
Dude.
Bro, when I tell you and the authenticity, Eddie is so authentic that it almost feels fake.
Yeah.
Eddie is like, because you're sitting there like, there's no way that they let real New York in a wrestling promotion. There's no way that they let real Brooklyn in, like, there's no way. But Eddie is like, bro.
Yeah, Eddie's one of them people.
You can't see Eddie.
You can't see Eddie and not know where he's from.
I will give some of his promos a chance. I will, since Jean doesn't like shit, but Jean says that she likes Eddie. I will give some of his promos and watch some of his matches.
Hey, somebody clip that. Somebody clip that.
I will. It might be the Rican bias in me, to be honest, because he is half. So it's like, take my hype with a big grain of salt. But like, yeah,
like I said, since Jean is saying that she likes somebody, I will give them a chance. Because very rarely do we ever hear Jean liking anything.
I didn't know. Prior to AEW, I didn't know Eddie. But Eddie has been
same.
Eddie has been one of my favorite guys over there since I saw him. Like, even before I saw him live, I was like, bro, whoever this Eddie dude is, like, I want to see this motherfucker win, because his promos used to be on point. His matches were on point. They were brutal matches. Eddie don't wrestle, he fight.
Yeah. He takes a lot of like old school New Japan influences too. Like he loves Japanese wrestling, so like a lot of the stuff people will like throw up like references of like, hey, he took this from this is what he was throwing an homage to. I'm like, dude, this dude, like, he loves wrestling. Like, you can tell, like, this dude is just a big old dork like us, and like he takes it all in, and like he'll throw the homages of everything. Like when he got to fight Ishii, he was like, you can tell, like, that dude, happiest person on the planet. Right. He doesn't have to win a title, no nothing. Like, I would love for him to win something at some point. He had his like ROH run and stuff like that, but like being more on AEW side, that would be awesome. But he can just like give him anything that involves building stories and promos around.
Right.
I'm eating it up. Like, absolutely. Eddie's that guy.
Eddie is definitely that guy. Eddie is, I know, bro, there are a few people in AEW that like I have been hooked on since AEW started. Eddie is one. Unfortunately, Darby Allin is starting to burn out for me.
They use him in spurts. I hope he don't hurt himself.
But no, when you first saw him, like you knew.
Hold on, has he finished? Has he finished climbing?
Yeah, he did. He's on his way back down.
Yeah, he did it.
Yeah, he's on his way back down.
I only got an Instagram, like one of the wrestling Instagram accounts that I followed. Like they were like calling him a dumbass and stuff like that, because they were like, not very many people actually survive that mountain.
Well, so
they made it to the summit or something.
You can call him a dumbass, but at the same time, what you see on TV, the Darby Allin you see on TV, that's him in real life. Because only the Darby Allin that you see on TV would climb that fucking mountain. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, you can call him whatever the hell you want, but what you can't say that this is just TV. No, that's him.
Yeah, he does it he's very much a very young Jeff Hardy in that sense of like the no fear. You just gotta like do it sometimes, and he does it sometimes to his own detriment, but he does it, and he just goes
like that. Goddamn. The first time I saw him do the coffin drop, from where he did the coffin drop.
Oh no. Which one was this one?
It was the first time he had ever done the coffin drop from the top rope onto the edge of the ring. The very first time that he did it. And I was like, bro, you're not supposed to do this. Like, bro, what are you doing? This is just a regular TV show. You saved that shit for the PLE. Like,
no.
Yeah.
It's a smart anything for. Actually, no. You save stuff for the paid stuff.
No, yeah, like, right. But the crazy part is, Darby will do that one for regular TV shows, and then for the pay-per-views, he's doing the coffin drop off of the goddamn cage or off the goddamn Tron.
On the ladder onto some glass.
Right.
That's my favorite one. It stays in my brain. Because I was like, bro, what were you thinking? And then like, all you just see is the glass.
He really did that shit. Coffin drop through glass.
Yeah.
From a ladder.
That one.
From a ladder that was positioned in the ring.
And then you just see his back slowly like shredded. Like it wasn't instant. It was like a delay. Everything was just delayed. He fell into the glass, he turned over, and then you slowly see the back like open up, and it's just like, whoa.
I think that might be one of my few reasons of not watching.
It was
like
that show that he's
I'm not a fan of like bloody matches, so like that could be one reason why I don't watch a lot of their matches.
Because last night
75% of their matches are bloody matches. And
last night when I was watching it, there was a point where I was like, Gene, close your eyes. Because bro, when I tell you that just by, I didn't even see the match yet, just by knowing who was on that card, I was like,
oh no,
yeah, this is gonna be nasty.
Which one, the Anarchy in the Arena or
the Anarchy in the Arena match? I was like, wait, this says that at some point Briscoe's supposed to show up, and Mox is in it, and Swerve. Yeah, close your eyes.
Yeah, and Briscoe already had a match earlier.
Oh my
and my
God.
Man, got nope.
Christ.
That's where the line goes for me. It's like, damn, I'm seeing the Crimson Mask. I'm like, bro, you had like 45 minutes. You couldn't grab a towel,
right?
Like, where are we? And John Moxley always grabbing forks. stabbing people with.
I had to deal with a crew member at work today that got cut, and I ended up getting lightheaded dealing with that.
Oh man,
bro,
dude!
I used to be a press operator, a rubber press operator. We used to make drilling parts for like the drill bits and stuff, but they're made out of rubber and fiberglass, like a combination material. And one guy, he had been there for a while. You know, the older guys, they don't feel like they feel like they know what they're doing, so they don't need to wear the gloves.
Always.
That motherfucker took his, the rubber things are like pretty long, right? So he took his slab of rubber, went to the roller, put it in the roller, and the machine caught his hand before he did. And I was like, I was literally right behind him when it happened. So I was the one that had to hit the emergency shut off. And I was sitting there like, bro, that could have been me. Like, I'm sad that happened because me and old boy was really cool, but like, bro, like I was next to do what he was doing. Bro, that shit was crazy.
I used to work at a crab trap factory. It was like one of my first jobs ever. I was like 15. And you saying that reminded me of this one shear machine that like you roll in the cage and it slams down and it's just literally like a mechanical guillotine and there's no stop. So like if it goes down, that it has to complete the motion of going up. So I was like, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to work on the small ones. You will never catch me over there because I know my clumsy ass will get my fingers chopped off. Oh man.
Or worse, when I was younger, probably about 17, 18, I had two jobs. I used to work in a deli and I used to work for McDonald's, and then I used to work for a deli in a grocery store. And the motherfucker that was training me to slice the meat had fingers missing. And I was like, wait.
And they had him training you?
Yeah. He was the he was the manager.
Nope.
Oh.
Not taking any word from him. You're missing fingers?
And if you ask him what happened, he'll tell you. He was slicing meat one day and
definitely managed to get that. Golly. Damn.
Where's that rim shot when I need it?
Ooh.
Wait a minute.
Oh my god.
There we go.
All right. Oh yeah, no. The visual in my head is what gets me squeamish. Not actually seeing the action, but like, oh man, that was visualized in my head. I'm just like,
yeah, I'm a very visual person too. That's why people say shit. A group of people that I'm around will say shit on purpose just to see my reaction.
Nah. Painting the image and it's just like, yep, no, I'm done.
Yeah, crazy.
Y'all want to see me pass out?
Craziness,
dude. Oh man.
But yeah, Eddie. That's why I always say a program done right between Eddie and Samoa Joe would be amazing.
Yeah.
But going back to Briscoe, him and his brother, like his brother was like that too. Like,
they had some bloody matches themselves, like them two fighting each other too.
Mm-hmm. And then after the brother passed away, the matches between him and Brian Danielson.
I still do it to this day. No, yeah.
The matches between him and Brian Danielson, to be honest with you, I promise you I don't want nothing to happen to this man. but there's no reason why Bryan Danielson should not be dead by now. Bro, him, Mox, and Briscoe, and now I guess you could add Swerve to that list. They love that shit. Like, they thrive on it.
Some of the things that like I've heard that Brian does and like that Mox do, like they seem way too unnecessary. It's like, really, you're choosing to do that? Why?
Well,
it comes down to like an art style for them, and in like their head at least, you know.
He explained it in his book. If you ever read Mox's book,
I have not done that.
I still need to get that. That's one that I've had on my list for a minute.
It's great. It's great.
I have a sticky note on my computer.
And the audio book is him narrating it. And he reads it.
I'm gonna have to do that instead. Hold up, I'm taking a note.
He reads it.
It wouldn't make any sense having anybody else narrate it.
Yeah. He reads the book. So apparently, because of the way he wrote the book like a long ass promo. Like literally, he reads it as Jon Moxley, and he reads it like when he cuts a promo, that like in that vein. That's how that book is written. That's how he reads it. Damn. And you don't learn his real government name. You don't learn none of that shit. You learn stuff about him, like you learn that he used to try every drug on the market because he tells you not to do it. But for all intents and purposes,
you not to do it.
For all intents and purposes, as far as you know, his name is Jon Moxley. But he also explains to you where that name came from. So that's really not his name.
It's so interesting, like seeing his promos before going to OVW, and then the first promo he did when he showed up to OVW and having all those matches with Regal, and then eventually Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, and
it was a promo that he cut that was on YouTube that got him that gig, and that's the crazy part. Like
he used to just like throw him up there,
because he said
like someone threw him up there.
No, he did it. He talks about that in the book too. He's like, he's like, I had it. It was in me, and I just had to get it out. And like,
dude,
he was like, because he was going stir crazy because he wasn't wrestling anymore because the other company had let him go because they had realized that he lied about his age. And so,
Jesus, jeez.
So, shit happens, and so. He wasn't, he was working, but he wasn't like wrestling anymore. And he had all this shit built up, and he basically just said, I needed to get it out. The only way to get it out was to cut promos and throw them up there. And he was like, he even admitted the stuff that he was cutting and throwing up on YouTube was better than any promo that he ever cut for WWE. As a matter of fact, he does look back at his time in WWE as necessary, but that was pretty much the darkest time in his life. Like a lot of the stuff that we hated that he was doing, he hated
it too.
Like,
that ending run was not the greatest, to say the least.
Well, it's because it was a punishment,
and we can all say, "Fuck you, Vince."
Like it was literally. He said it in the book. He says it without really saying it. It was a punishment. Like,
I'm not surprised.
I mean, we all figured that it was a punishment
because he was he was upset, and he was like he was constantly telling Renee, and this was before they had really had gotten serious. Was constantly telling Renee, "I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit." So one day she's like, "Then fucking do it."
Yo, real.
I'm so sick of you fucking whining about it. Fucking do it. And he went in there and he told the higher ups that he wasn't gonna resign or whatever, and they shat on him the entire last year and a half or so that he was.
It's crazy.
Vincent Kennedy McMahon is a petty bitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not the first time, and it's not the last time. Even though he's not there, it still happens to other people.
You can still feel it.
Yeah,
he may not be physically there.
He's pulling strings,
but you can feel him sometimes. You're like, bro, that's a. He's become an adjective at this point. It's like, damn, that was a very Vince thing to do. It's just, bro, it's wild.
Unfortunately, Triple H learned the bad as well as the good.
Yeah.
Well, you got to also understand that as much as we praise Triple H is not the actual boss. He has a room of people he has to answer to. And they are only concerned with the numbers.
Yeah.
And I was having, believe it or not, that conversation with my therapist today. I told him, WWE don't give a shit about viewership. They don't give a shit about the viewer numbers or the attendance numbers. They don't care about none of that. I mean, that's good for bragging rights, but what it all comes down to is what the financial report looked like at the end of the year, at the end of the fiscal year.
You gotta appease the investors. You're a publicly traded company.
So check this out to prove my point, and this is what I told my therapist too. Listen, they started pulling live events. Not only are they not doing as many, if you know how when you were younger, at some point, you may not get a SmackDown or a Raw, but you was going to get a live event, if not in your town, somewhere close by it.
Yeah.
Going forward, no more. They're not doing the small towns anymore. But it's because the PLE, they're pulling how many live events that they do, and they're focusing they're going to be focusing a lot more PLEs overseas, so the live events are going to have to stay in the States because they're trying to go global. They're trying to basically take over the world. Now that also means that because that's where the money is. If you think about that Saudi check that people get, that should pretty much tell you right there.
Yeah.
And so they seem to be focused on the global market, not the national. And
because
so
apparently they're going back to Vegas.
No, that's what I was getting ready to say. They're going. Not only are they going back to Vegas. They pulled it from New Orleans and they're going back to Vegas.
Bullshit.
Yeah, which is crazy because I don't think that's ever happened, right?
Never happened. But here's the thing. Not only are they going back to Vegas this time, but going forward, Vegas is going to be almost like the exclusive home for WrestleMania.
which is bullshit. That is absolutely dog shit.
It kind of goes like to the having like home bases for like certain events, which like it works for other sports, I guess, but I feel like wrestling is one of those things where it's like, and this is the one thing that I will give that guy credit to, was he was very much, it was a family oriented business, and the people that he wanted to bring in crowds wise were families. You know, that's why tickets were priced out the way they are. And like, I was gonna go to a Raw with some friends a couple months ago when it was at Madison Square Garden, and they had it was Punk and Rollins in the steel cage match
right
that night that Roman returned, and tickets for the same area that I went the year before were damn near double. I was like, why is it? I think it was like 240, 250 or something like that for tickets. I spent 150, 160 on per seat in the same exact area for a SmackDown. I was like, what happened? And then I'm like, all right, I got to be bugging. Maybe I'm over exaggerating. And then over like the next few months, I hear everybody else complaining about these prices. I was like, oh, this wasn't just me.
Right. And the crazy part is, WrestleMania is worse. WrestleMania, you're spending WrestleMania in Vegas, you're spending at least $2,000 for nosebleed seats.
Yeah, I heard, and I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna look, because I was planning on doing. I was like, oh, Vegas, why not? I haven't been there in like 15 years. Why not?
That's
I wanted to go to WrestleMania
prices.
Yeah. I wanted to go to WrestleMania in New Orleans. I'm from Louisiana. Like, you have to, in my mind, I'm like, I have to attend a WrestleMania in New Orleans at least once. Like,
dude,
bro, not with them prices. I can't, bro.
It's crazy too. And like, they're doing SummerSlam in Jersey, right? And it's the same thing. Those tickets are gonna be stupid. And I'm just like, it's MetLife, bro. What are we doing?
For the price of one ticket, you used to be able to get the all access pass with the flight, the hotel, and all of that shit in one. Like,
dude,
you used to pay that for that entire package. Now that just covers.
I don't even think they offer that package now.
Oh yeah. You have to like to look for it
and all that stuff.
No, you have to. It's there. You have to look for it.
But is that the 10K package?
Yeah, that's
that they got
probably.
like with
that's
the
like
backstage.
That's a like 10, 20K package. Yeah.
Gotta take a whole mortgage out on your house for like a extra.
Because that's what I was saying. Like, you don't.
So
see
how
your
rich
average...
is Green Shirt Guy? That's what I want to know. Because like, he's at every. Actually, he was missing recently at one of the pay-per-views.
I mean, I'd be missing too after WrestleMania.
Right.
And somebody actually pointed out that he wasn't front row. He was like 2 rows back.
Bro, after spending $40K for whatever, how to do that?
Bro, that's
I'll be 2 rows back. Oh man.
Yeah, I was looking at the I actually was looking at, there's like the Evolution package, like for Evolution Saturday Night Main Event. The one package was like $360 for per person for like the I'm trying to think what seats they were. They were like decent seats. They weren't like front row, but they were like lower seats. Which like that's reasonable. Venue, right? I think so. That's reasonable.
I mean, like 300, but also and stuff like that for like close to front row sounds normal. I don't know if I'm rationalizing it in my head now.
When I go, I usually.
Oh, they've gone up to 400.
I usually sit in the mezzanine when I go, like in that area where, it's like really small. It's like above, like right above the floor, and they have their own like special fucking snack area with the tables and all that. Like,
okay,
that's where I used to go, and those tickets were easily obtainable. Now, shit. They want your
like
firstborn kid for that shit now.
The lowest price ticket to go to Evolution in the 200 sections, which looks like it's technically the nosebleeds for the arena, $400.
Golly.
Those are the cheapest tickets.
$400. $400 to basically watch the show on the Tron, just to be in the building.
I've changed my mind about. I got told that, you know, if I paid for it, that we could potentially go. I'm changing my mind. As much as I want to go, because, like, you know, it's the all women's pay-per-view. Like, I'm a women's wrestling fan.
At this point, I'll stick to Ring of Honor shows and AEW shows and New Japan. That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, in all fairness, like, AEW shows are like cheaper now, but they're only cheaper now because their prices have not changed, but they were more expensive than WWE's for up until this past year. Like, this is the first year, because, like, I know, I've gone to 2 AEW shows. Yeah, I've gone to 2 AEW shows, and they were I mean, only because of how WWE's pricing structure is now do those prices look attractive now, but they haven't gone up, so, which I'm shocked at, but also, they are the better priced out shows at the moment.
Well, so yes and no. And the reason why I say that is because it depends on where the show is for AEW. Yeah. Because you could go to I'm pretty sure where you are, they're going to be mad expensive. But but like for All in Texas, the shows that they do in Texas and Arlington and places like that, man, like we went to the Ring of Honor show and I think I paid $20 for my seat. Like you know what I mean? Like went to the New Japan like 2 weeks later and paid the same, like almost $20 for the seat. So and had some good names. That's where I saw Eddie Kingston. That's where I saw Colbert's gonna beat my ass for forgetting this, for not being able to call his name, because that's his favorite. Keith Lee. That's where I saw Keith Lee in person. Which, have you never seen Keith Lee in person? You have to see him at a Texas at like a Dallas show, because if it's in a Dallas show or Arlington show or anything like that, his mom's gonna be in the audience.
Oh, that's sweet.
And bro, he was fighting someone at this show, and his mom. I have video of this lady. She was walking back and forth, and she said, "You either beat his ass, or I'm gonna beat your."
Yo, Moms is real.
Love that,
bro.
Moms is real. Let's go.
Mama Lee was not playing no games. You hear me? She was, and then it was bad because like they were him and the person he was fighting they were both from Texas. So like, his mom, Keith Lee's mom, was in the audience, but this man's like wife and kids were in the audience. And like when the dude lost, like his kid was heartbroken to the point where like both Keith Lee and and the dude Sean, I believe, is who he was fighting. They used to have a tag team in the Indies, I believe.
I know who you're talking about now. Yes. Tall. big white dude?
No, it's a black dude.
Oh, it's it's not.
They from Texas. Just one's from like the Houston area and one's from like the Dallas area.
Wait, is it Willie? No, it's not Willie Mack, right?
Hold on.
Hold up. No, he's from St. Louis. Okay. Arlington, Texas match. Dang. Oof. No, they're sending me all the way back. Old
Bro, they won't give me anybody but Swerve. Shane Taylor.
Okay, and then Shane Taylor Promotions and all that. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
So Shane's wife and his daughter were there, and both after the match, both Shane and Keith were trying to console us. Like, she was bawling. Like, I felt so bad. It was so bad. I was like, poor girl. Like, and the older brother was like, man, you don't stop. But she was so invested in this match. Oh my goodness. It's also where the first time I saw Daniel Garcia.
Oh man, I don't think I still seen him live yet.
Bro,
that dude seems like a trip.
Bro, when you see him live and you see the people in the audience just start to do the dance.
Bro, he's got the
No, I'm talking about this one. I'm talking about
bro, he's a menace, man.
Bro,
oh god,
Jesus Christ.
It's funny because like between him and Wheeler Yuta, I feel like he got the better of the opportunities and the glow up
that's
in
who he was
AEW
fighting.
So far.
That's who he was fighting when in Texas. He was fighting.
Okay. Damn, how long ago was this then? Because that had to have been the Pure Championship feud, right?
2000, probably about a year, 2 years ago, maybe.
I was about to say,
really?
When did I end up spoiling it for Danny? Because that was wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that. Because it was Wheeler Yuta. It was.
I didn't realize they were feuding that long.
It was Daniel Garcia, and Zack Sabre Jr. was there as well. Like,
okay. Do we need to go back to the clips of when I ended up spoiling that for Danny?
No, we not reliving that. No. See, what a regular Yates at? I'm sick of this snapback shit. Because why you over here trying to goddamn snitch again?
I'm just remember that was the way to remember it.
That's like saying, you remember that ass whooping you took that you got when you got in trouble and you had that ass whooping 2 days ago? No, I don't want to remember that. Why? Why do I want to remember that?
Man.
I mean, it's a clip in the opening credits.
Right, because it was funny, but you have to bring it up.
Oh man.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, so like to see him and they all do that dance is nuts. Tell me what you thought about the Monet and Jamie Hayter. We're not gonna talk about the ending yet.
Yeah.
Because I know you probably got thoughts about the ending. Because I had thoughts about the ending, and I don't even watch the shit.
I got thoughts about the whole match and her run in general, but that's a whole story that we could like spend like hours on.
Let me tell you,
it's funny because I've rewound that match like the entire time we've been talking. I have it up on another monitor over here, and I'm just
I will tell you the same thing I told Sims. Monet is not Athena.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's believable for Athena to have a run like that. I don't believe. It's kind of like I kind of feel about Monet the way John Cena felt about what's that boy name? Mr. A Town Down.
Austin Theory.
Austin Theory.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
No. R.I.P. man.
I don't believe it. Like,
yeah.
I don't keep up with the product, and I feel like she should. I don't think that she should have won. Like, I know they're trying to build credibility for her or whatever, but like, no.
What I will say about that match, just that match in general, it was a great match.
Mm-hmm.
It was an awesome match. If she didn't have the history that she has, you would think that she was every bit as good as they portray her to be in that match until the finish. They shit the bed so hard with that goddamn finish.
So they didn't even have the finish in the clip of in the clips.
It probably was, and you didn't see it.
No, like I don't think they did. They only showed her
going for the
with
haterade?
holding the. They just showed her holding the belt in the clips.
2 words. 2 words, Yates. 2 words. Schoolboy.
Okay, well, no, that part actually didn't bother me. There's a reason for that. There's a storytelling reason for that. But the lead up to that was BS because Homegirl took a pile driver no less than 30 seconds before that. And this is my problem with every Mercedes Monet match. And I love her and I understand why she's got all these titles and she's doing the whole belt collector thing. And why they build her up the way she did. I have not been a fan of the whole they TNA'd this particular star where WWE person comes in and immediately skyrocketed to the first match being a title match against Willow, who was the TBS champion at that time, and she loses. And she had an awesome month run with that title, and she built it as best as she could for that match because the year before where she fought Mercedes and Mercedes ended up having to lose because she injured herself and got the New Japan Strong Women's title and all that stuff. Like, I get why they had to make that the match, but I still feel like they could have, for all the times Tony Khan slow books everything, this could have easily gone for like the first 6 months and let Willow have the run that she deserved at that time. And let Sasha, Jesus Christ, Mercedes,
Don't worry, I will. Yeah. If I end up talking about it, I'll slip up often because I've only known her as Sasha.
I haven't messed that up in a minute. I'm like,
that's why.
Where the hell did that come from?
That's why. I won't say Mercedes. You'll only hear me say Monet because that's the only way that I don't mess that up. If I say Monet, I won't mess it up.
I've finally broken myself from calling Athena Ember because she's done stuff.
Yeah.
For me to actually call her by the ring name that she's going by.
Sebs. Oh my god.
Also, the whole built collector thing.
It has taken me forever.
Also, the whole built collector thing. I wasn't a fan of it. I wasn't a fan of it when they did it with Kenny. So I'm definitely not going to be a fan of it when they do it with Monet.
And like that's also to the detriment of like the promotions that she's working with. They want her to have the titles, and I get the credibility because she is an awesome freaking wrestler, and I love her as a wrestler and the things she does in the ring. But there's like always 2 things that I notice, and it has been super noticeable in this run in particular. she don't sell for more than 2 seconds, dude. She'll take a heavy hit move and then she's up the next. It happened like several times in this match, and I'm watching it back now again, and I'm just like, bro, how like can you just like 5 seconds longer? I'm not even asking for like you to be knocked out for a minute. Like they got to slow it down. They had damn near 30 minutes in this match. You had time.
She's spamming that L1 button, bro.
Bro, the pile driver killed me at the end. I was like, there's no way Hayter hit that pile driver. And then she went for the pin. She got up from the pin. Cool. Great. That was a crazy 2.99. Lay down for like a little bit. Like, I know this
Actually
is the final
move.
part. Yeah. And I'm just like, bro, that's what makes it unbelievable for me, for her to have all these belts. God damn, that was crazy. Sorry, she did the double knee down into the outside the ring.
Yeah.
So
I thought she hurt somebody with that. Like,
that particular moment of the double knee, like where her feet were being held by the ropes. Mm-hmm. So in the highlight clip, it shows Jamie sliding herself down. Like, I was like, why did y'all show that in the highlight? Like, y'all showed her sliding herself down so that she was dangling. It's like, you could tell, obviously, that she was moving herself to be hanging.
Right.
And it's like, y'all couldn't have cut that part, at least? Y'all could have cut that little couple seconds and then showed the double knee.
Let me tell you, the camera, the production team was fucking up a lot that night. I saw a lot of shit that we wasn't supposed to see.
That was my biggest takeaway of that match.
Let's not talk about when the D Riders got put in the ambulance, and you could see Claudio tell Briscoe to get out. Like,
oh my god,
bro,
dude. That needs to be in Botchamania.
Like, you can see Claudio be like, "Hey, go." But it's because
the wrestlers lately have gotten. It's probably something I shouldn't comment on, but they've gotten sloppy with calling stuff. Because, like, why are you calling it to the point that the mics can pick it up?
I wonder,
like, y'all are being super loud with calling these things in the ring to the point that all of the mics, y'all are mic'd up.
Yeah.
Why are y'all calling these things?
I wonder too, though, if it's technology getting better and the way those things pick up so much better than what they did even 20 years ago. Because, like, yeah, they've always called out stuff in the ring, but also, I don't think they've had the amount of production over the years. And I'm saying that as, like, you know, WWE, WCW and all that. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if that's what it's come down to, is just like the amount of mics that are now available throughout the entire arena every time. And maybe that's why it's caught so much more often.
I need them to either get rid of some of the mics, or they need to start coming up with silent signals or something.
Yeah, I feel like not every camera needs a mic. Like, just because you have a camera in your hand does not mean that the mic on that camera needs to be live. It's just it.
Yeah.
Now, that is where I would say that maybe WWE is better, because the production team has there you go, your boy with the dance.
Hell yeah.
That, you know, there's a separate team working on sound. Now, does it seem sometimes that the cameramen have it out for certain wrestlers sometimes?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. because the way they used to treat Solo, when the way they used to treat Solo, and would show you that motherfucker couldn't sell moves, was amazing.
It's also probably backstage nonsense of depending on how certain superstars treat the cameramen backstage when they're not working.
Probably
that
someone in the production
like, you're being rude, like you're rude to them off of work. Oh yeah, they're gonna show you in the worst light they can.
Yeah. I think someone's in the production truck just like, hey, let's see how they react to this. Let's just change that to camera 2 real quick.
So the moment that's going on right behind your head right now, that is one of the few moments that I got somebody showed, like somebody posted,
crazy.
And I was like,
yep,
shining that man's head.
He deserved it.
When he shined this man's head, my God. But what I will say is that AEW have been doing a better job with Ricochet than WWE ever did. Because while he's a bit delusional thinking that he's the mic god.
A bit delusional?
That's the character, though. That's the character. Everything is the character.
No. He's more than a bit delusional.
While he is delusional about his mic skills. I will say...
The amount of delusional juice that he drinks is more than my Stanley.
I love it.
Listen.
I love it. Bro.
His heel, specifically the work he did with Swerve and Nana.
Mm-hmm.
We needed that in WWE. But you know what? What I will say is Swerve has a way of taking your strengths and teaching you how to elevate. Like once you do a program with Swerve, the sky's the limit for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like he
I'll be right back.
teaches
Zoe's
you.
Scratching at the door.
I told you.
Aww.
He has a way of making you realize whatever potential that you have, that you either may know you have it and can't seem to get it out, or you don't know or you don't know that you have it and he just sees it. Swerve is really good at that. And I said several times last night, if there was ever a chance for WWE to get Swerve back, it's gone now.
Yeah. And there's like a handful of good storytellers in AEW. He's one of them. Abso-freaking-lutely. I'm so happy. Like he got up there.
and so we're gonna get to that point that me and you were talking about before. But I wanted to get through that first, because once we start talking about that match.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, honestly, but to be honest with you, Ricochet never really had a problem putting on matches.
No.
It was the character work, but it's also because
did he actually
WWE
have character?
Well, so I feel like in order for you to be able to coach somebody on what you need from them as a character, you have to have an example of that. And WWE didn't have anybody before Ricochet that fit Ricochet's kind of personality, and it kind of just felt like he was floating from one character to the next character to the next character to the next character.
I think Ricochet suffered from the Vinceism. He got, if I'm not mistaken, he got pulled up that in that weird, confusing era of NXT call-ups where like you get called up from NXT and that universe doesn't exist in WWE's world and vision. So your characters reset, but not only that, he was with the call-ups with like Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa, where like they all had stories that they were facing each other, and they got called up as a tag team, and it was a hot mess because the pay-per-view hadn't happened yet, and it was the lead up to WrestleMania, and that was going to be the big blow off, and it threw off everyone's character, and then they had to like pretend that like they didn't get called up. It was like that whole mess of everything. So by the time they were actually back on board, it was like, what's NXT? No, that's Hunter's thing right now.
And then it was like,
again, we all say fuck you, Vince.
Literally that. Yeah, it's the most annoying thing for that to not have been a consistent thing. Sorry, I'm watching Mark Briscoe get battered into a stretcher right now. I just looked up.
but then it was like, but then it was also like, okay, we're gonna call you up, and then it's like, well, psych, you're going to 205 Live, which also doesn't exist. Which also doesn't exist on main on
unless you're Enzo Amore.
right. But
yeah,
also
because he did
with Enzo Amore, I feel like on the mic he couldn't be touched. Like he couldn't wrestle to save his life, but you have something when you do a promo against John Cena, and even John Cena, you shut John Cena up, and John Cena's in the background clapping at you for talking shit about him.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is I sure hope somebody who has a microphone tattooed on their hand can cut a promo. Like if you were bold enough to tattoo a microphone on your hand, then you better be able to cut a promo.
Ooh, safe.
Nope. She spilled some of my soda.
Oh no. But yeah, like just going back real quick to Ricochet, like he had decent NXT, like not even decent. He had some really good feuds. But the one that sticks out is unfortunately the one that is with, Dream. And that whole thing. So it's like, all right, what can you use? What else can you use that's like, character development for something going from NXT to WWE as well? It was the flip show for sure, but it also showed off what he can do in the ring. And there was some mic skills there at that time. Did he get called up too early? Maybe, but I mean, I think it really just came down to them not giving him a chance to talk all that much. And when you do, you put him in the ring with all these bigger stars that are going to be like, all right, who's this chump? And it's like, all right, well,
all these super talkers.
Out of respect, I'm not going to, say anything.
But to be honest with you, when it came down to the matches, it was like he was running circles around them. He had to slow himself down so that they can keep up.
Yep. And it's like he's hanging with these guys over here in AEW right now, and like even the ones that aren't the to quote Matt Hardy, the spot monkeys. Like he's doing things that are outside of what you would expect from a Ricochet match while still having Ricochet things done in the ring, which is dope.
Because that spot where he did that moonsault onto and and missed his target and hit the stretcher.
Yeah.
Nasty.
That was nasty. That was nasty because his head just went.
But like when you saw, there are people that can sell their fucking ass off. Ricochet sells in the most dangerous way possible. Them fucking head spikes into the mat. I don't know how he hasn't broken his neck. Like
he just did it here.
Bro,
I'm watching the table spot right now, but yeah.
Like, bro, how?
Yeah.
How?
Bro.
I honestly don't get it.
Bro, that man is he's good. And I hope he only gets more time so that way it can be like, hey, he has a character. If that's what they're gonna pin him on for not having it in WWE, he's definitely doing it now.
Oh yeah,
because his wrestling was not an issue, like you said, and it's just he's getting he's getting his mic time now. He's got a character to go off of.
Did you peep the Akatsuki reference when he
the what reference?
The Akatsuki.
No.
Go back and look at his entrance. In his entrance,
I think it's in the highlight reel that's behind you.
Oh, sorry, I'm so dumb. That's a Naruto character, right?
Yeah, there it is.
That he's supposed to be impersonating or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm terrible with Naruto. So.
It's Itachi.
I did catch that. I did catch that. I was like, oh.
And so, that was pretty cool. Swerve and his Predator gear was crazy.
That gear looked awesome.
Swerve and his Predator gear was crazy.
That was dope. Freaking the Bucks.
What? Bro, the whole time I'm looking at the Bucks, I had to explain to somebody last night because they were like, "It's two of them motherfuckers." I was like, "No, they twins." Like,
yeah.
I was like, "Bro, the whole time, every time they would show up on the screen, I was like, these motherfuckers,
So like the founding fathers thing is basically because they were two of the four people that helped launch AEW. So like they're the EVPs both actually and in lore of the whole thing. But since Kenny didn't decide to join up with them when he came back because he's like, what are you doing? What the hell happened to the company that we started? The Bucks are just basically like, F you, Kenny, we're the founding fathers of AEW. So they're in their own deluded
They're rewriting history is what they're trying to do.
Yes, exactly.
My man went from Captain Omega to DJ Omega in the span of like 2 minutes.
Bro.
Falcon. Bro.
Yo.
I think I popped so big. Man. And then when he turned into DJ Omega and said, "We need some 2000s punk metal," I was like, "Oh, bro!"
And then this Bodies to the Floor came out,
bro.
Yeah,
it was like it almost felt like it changed the match. Like there was a shift that happened, and that whole thing was just amazing.
Anarchy in the Arena is such a fun concept. I will say it is they're doing the thing where it's like how Hell in a Cell, you had to have a Hell in a Cell every year. Every year it seems like they have to do an Anarchy in the Arena. But I do like the concept, and I think they made the stories work the way they did with this one, the lead up to it and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So it's like I hope that they dial back on it a little bit and not have it just be hey, because it's that time of the year,
right?
Anarchy in the Arena time sort of thing, because that match is very special. That and Blood and Guts are like two very special matches that don't always need to happen, but when they do, let it mean something between all the stories being told. And I think a little tiny one that I don't know if a lot of people caught up on was when Hook came in and hit Homeboy with the golf club before Gabe Kidd came out, and then he walked away, and I'm like, oh, they're thinking about this like after this pay-per-view, what the next story for Joe is.
Yeah,
and the dissension between the
I saw that because Joe was like, hey, bro, get in here. And he was like, nah.
I'm good.
Right.
Deuces.
I liked the the hoodie that he had. Like
yeah.
The fact that it was a Kenny hoodie and he was like wore it like Kenny would. Like
yeah. He did, like, that's his character. He's just like the quiet kid that'll fuck somebody up. And like he's Taz's son. So he's got like that gimmick going on of just like I may look like Justin Bieber, but I'll like throw you in the red rum in like 2 seconds.
His character is what I wanted from Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
His character is
the evolution of that.
What I wanted from Jungle Boy. Don't get me wrong, Jungle Boy is still probably one of my, like, I still kind of like, I'm gonna probably always be a fan.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Is he injured right now?
I think so.
Okay, I was like, you brought him up. I was like, forgot he was.
They don't call
part
him
of that
Jungle
whole
Boy
thing
anymore either. They call him by his name now.
Yeah, Jack Perry.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think that shit was gonna last. Like, bro, it's 2025. You can't go around calling yourself Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy, Jungle Man at some point, right? I mean, oh my gosh! And then Luchasaurus doesn't do himself any favors by also getting injured a lot too. So like that's unfortunate. Like I feel like every time they tried to go back to that story between him and Jungle Boy, is like
one or both of them.
Something happened. One of them gets injured. Yeah. This has been like 4 years now. I'm like,
that's kind of like what the problem that the Usos had. Every time that they get steam built up, one of them gets injured.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, I remember Luchasaurus from being on a season of Big Brother. That's the only reason why I even know him.
Yeah.
Is he was like on a season of Big Brother, and I think at that point in time he was trying out for WWE.
I was gonna say, was he in NXT for any brief moment of time?
Not as Luchasaurus.
So he was in WWE from 2012 to 2014.
Who was he?
Yeah, he wasn't.
I'm trying to remember because that's when I was watching NXT, and I'm like, I don't remember who the hell his character was.
That was after he did Big Brother after he got released from WWE.
Okay, Luchasaurus. NXT.
I don't think he really had
build them.
He only did like house shows. He never actually. He was wrestling under the name of Judas Devlin.
Yeah, Judas Devlin, and he didn't have. Like I said, that was before.
He was part of FC. He was part of FCW. And he was teaming with Corey Graves.
Okay, yes, I do recall because I'm like, as soon as he said Corey Graves, I was like, wait, there was he did have somebody with him. Okay, that's who was with him.
And their tag team was
hilarious.
Named Big Brother.
Oh my god! how the circle is completed.
That shit's funny.
Oh my god. Yeah, and he was in Lucha Underground too. Bro, what?
Yeah, that's where I knew him from. That's where I knew him from. Was Lucha Underground.
Bro,
I'm so sad I'm so sad that that's not a thing anymore. Because Lucha Underground was the shit.
I was just gonna say it should be on the network now. Never mind, RIP the network. You can definitely find it on YouTube because I remember catching episodes.
It used to be on Netflix, but it got pulled.
Yeah, the only place I was able to find it was on Amazon Prime, and it was a buy or rent. situation.
Yeah, they got mad matches on their YouTube channel. And it looks like they got parts of season 3 on here. No, these are just little clips of season 3. But yeah, season 1 and 2 of Lucha Underground is like goated. If anything, go out of your way to find those.
Because immediately I see a snippet of a thing on the Wikipedia by mentioning a character being killed off via decapitation by Taya Valkyrie, of all people.
Yeah. Dude, they went all out.
Now I'm interested.
Lucha Underground was literally a telenovela disguised as wrestling. They brought in supernatural stuff. It was
the stuff that happened outside the ring was actual TV show quality. Like choreographed actual fights. It was like I was showing it to Sims one day, and she was like,
"So they had real writers," and
she was like, "Jesus Christ!"
Yeah,
like, bro, and what was his name?
This man just stabbed this dude with some scissors.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, the only omission from that whole thing now is Del Rio, but yeah.
So so the spot with Willow and Marina Shafir, like with the glass bottles, I hope those weren't like trick bottles.
Yes, they were trick bottles because real bottles don't break like that.
Oh, but if you completely explode them, yeah.
But that face mask that she was wearing was not. That face mask was all blood.
That part, the way she got chained up. I know we were talking about this before the before the show, but Willow popping out of nowhere. I was still trying to figure out what the hell happened because there was so much going on in that match. That felt like a Twitch stream. I felt like I was watching like Evo because they had like 4 different scenes set up. Yeah. Everybody was fighting everywhere. Yeah. Freaking but when Willow got chained up by the ear to the corner post, I was like, wait, how'd she get out? Because she's like there for no more than like a minute, and then she spears homeboy.
Yeah, so what happened was
she got chained up by the ear.
Yeah, so Shapiro put a literal lock in her ear and chained her by her earlobe.
So I'm assuming she has gauges or something in order for that.
Yeah,
I learned that. But it's like I learned that, today.
So she chained her by her earlobe to the goddamn ring post,
bro.
And what happened was when Nana drove the forklift into the arena for Swerve, he also had the key to the padlock.
The padlock?
Yeah, and so he let her, but she was hooked up to that ring post for a while.
Bro, like I was it was like maybe like 2-3 minutes. It felt, I don't know, maybe there was so much action happening, but like, bro, I was like, didn't she just get locked up? How'd she get free?
And I thought, oh man, so I had saw a snippet of it happening. And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be gruesome," because I thought it was gonna end another way. I thought they were gonna take the Matt Hardy, the Jeff Hardy route and just rip the shit off. Like, because if it had been Jeff Hardy,
they were going.
Yeah, if it was Jeff Hardy, wouldn't be no more earlobe,
bro. My man just got meat hanging.
I'm glad I don't have gauges anymore. I'm glad I don't have them anymore.
Yeah, it's
oh man,
it's wild. Hi, Mel. So yeah, it's that match in and of itself was crazy. There was so
Yeah.
much shit going. And
just from the highlight reel, that match is somebody with ADHD's like either like their favorite thing ever or worst nightmare because of how much was going on. It's like either it's like you're able to keep up and you have the like it's like actually like yes, everything going on all at once. Yep.
I think that was me.
Or
I think that was me.
What the fuck? Everything is going on all at once. Like it's too much.
I think that was me. It was like
overstimulating.
It was like yes.
I will say this was the most organized anarchy in the arena, and I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but because they had that 4-camera feed, that's the first time I remember them having that 4-camera feed, because the other ones, they were like panning camera left and right, dong, 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 and you're like missing half the stuff going on. Right. Like someone does a move and they're already on the floor, and then they shoot the camera of them on the floor, and then they got to go to the replay. It's like always felt like pure chaos, like so uncoordinated. This one, it seemed like, okay, so and so's over there. All right, bet cameras, boom, boom, boom. Let's go.
It almost felt almost felt like you were watching security footage.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it
felt like a Twitch stream.
Right. We co-streaming.
Oh man, bro. Yeah, for real.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God.
It was wild. I loved. I tell people, like I told everybody that I talked to, like if you used to watch wrestling, and you feel like, well, something is off, and I don't have the love anymore. I don't follow AEW, or I don't do this and I don't do that. If the only thing, you don't even have to watch the whole PLE, even though the whole PLE was dope. Just watch the Anarchy match.
Yeah.
Just watch the Anarchy match. It will give you the same feeling that you had when you were younger and wrestling was good. You know what I mean? Bro. So like it was dope.
Will it? Because when I was younger and dealing with my brother watching wrestling, I was the subject of, you
don't count.
Any move that he wanted to learn, I was the one taking the move.
You don't count. You don't count because you came into wrestling from Total Divas. This ain't for you.
Yeah. I was about to say,
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's when I started watching wrestling, was like because I was a reality TV person, and
okay,
Total Divas got me, and that's one reason why I'm a fan of like the women's matches, and get pissed off when the women only get 2-minute matches,
or
aren't allowed to actually put on the matches that we know they can put on.
But I will say. When they gave Willow her 15 minutes of fame, the first person I thought about was you.
I did try to watch like I think I watched like the New Japan matches that she had, when she was like wrestling with Mercedes over there. Mm-hmm. Like I did try to give her a chance.
Right.
It was translating over to actual AW TV that's when I was like, oh, never mind. I'll watch you other places, but on that particular show, nah.
Yeah. It's interesting to see like her up and coming too, because like she very much was like and I think she deserves the damn world, and the way she got kicked off WrestleMania is a little disrespectful, but we don't got to talk about that. She's very much the Bailey of AEW, but I feel like her evolution of how she's grown as a character over the last 2 years that she's been on AEW is how I wish Bailey was able to get to where she is now, because she got there now. She figured out what worked, but like I feel like this feels like what I thought in my head Bailey was going to turn into, as you know, still being the baby face, but like with an edge. And she's slowly been getting that edge over like the last year in particular. She lost that TBS title, and like they kept the ball rolling with her. And that's the one thing that I can say I'm thankful for, is that most times these people lose their title and then they're out of the picture for like months on end and you don't hear from them. And it's like, well, how are you supposed to build up a character if if you're not around? Like, I get that people need to miss you, but you also need to be able to develop your character and have other stories with other people outside of that title picture. So to have her here and go up against Marina Shafir, who Jon Moxley loves, and that's why she's in that group, is like, at least they're giving her stuff to do, and like it makes sense story wise. Like they're connecting the dots between everyone that she's having feuds with.
Yeah, I absolutely love. I like Willow. Just point blank. Period. Willow,
love Willow.
I liked Willow even in her soft girl era, where she came out, where she used to come out in the PJs. But now in her, what I'll probably call the Rhea Ripley era, like even that is like, all right, she can do that too and does it well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she delivered spears as a woman.
Oh yeah.
That was believable. She wasn't scared to get in the mix. She took bumps from the men, like that shit she took from Jon Moxley. Mm-hmm. Nasty work. Like,
I was gonna say that the double super kicks, the almost Meltzer driver, like, bro, she was taking hits.
Right. So that is the one. That's the one thing I will credit AEW. I will give them that credit of, like, they're letting the women actually fight the guys. Like
every now and again,
like they advertised that one match with Nia Jackson and Moxley, and then, because advertisers said no, they immediately nope. Yeah. Like, they shouldn't even have advertised it. They should just did it.
It's like, I mean, they probably would have lost out on a lot of money too. It's like one of those things.
I mean, now they could probably get away with it, just because well, just because the where the money is coming from, those organizations probably wouldn't care, but that's not a PG move. Is what it, I think, boils down to. And part of the beef between WWE and TNA right now, even though they have a working contract relationship, is that WWE is like, we can bring you here, but you got to be PG. And they're like, we've never been, that would betray our entire fan base. Like, we've never been PG. So you're expecting us to change everything that we do, our whole identity, to be able to make this work. And so what I feel like is going to happen is, because whoever controls the money controls the situation. Mm-hmm. And TNA's stance is, we have the talent, we have the heart, we just don't have the money. Mm-hmm. WWE is like, well, we see that you have the talent, we see that you have the heart, we see that you have this and that, we got the money now. And at first it was all good. What's going to happen is TNA is probably going to cave. They're going to do things WWE way. Mm-hmm. And then when it all comes down, now we're going to end up, it's going to end up being another Monday Night War situation. WWE is going to buy TNA, and they're going to get it for pennies on the dollar, because the TNA fan base isn't what it used to be, because they decided to give it to WWE's demands and go PG. Mm. That's the way I see things happening. I'm not saying that I read somewhere that that's what's happening. That's what I see happening because of the feud that's going on right now.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like TNA has been the cockroach that has survived every sort of apocalypse and somehow has managed to still come back and be a company and have their moments of relevancy. And their wrestling is really good. Like, even in the dark ages, they have put on some crazy matches and had some awesome feuds throughout. And even I had dipped out around like the 2013 2014 time period. It was when I like full stopped and like just caught highlights here and there and like kept in every now and again. I was like, oh shoot, they're still doing like crazy stuff. But this might actually be like, I feel like this is heading towards that. It might be a slow, drawn out process. My fear is like they're doing exactly what you said, right? They're picking these companies that have the heart, have the determination, have everything but the money, and they're giving them the capital. But in return, that capital is going to involve having people be under their contracts, they wrestle their style. And my biggest issue with that is with what they're doing with AAA right now. And it's like, yeah, it's great for AAA and it's great for Mexican wrestling, but when you get to a point where it's just WWE Mexico and you get rid of all the culture, you get rid of all the lucha, like where's the line? Because now you're just getting rid of history at that point. And that's where my fear comes from, of like these companies. So it's becoming the territories being taken over again,
right?
With what Vince did, but now it's TKO, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And I hate that because I've been to the lucha wrestling in Mexico, and it's a completely different experience. Like it if WWE gets their hands on it the way that it seems like they will, for a lack of a better term, we're looking at colonization again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I didn't want to say it like that, but like that's how it kind of like it seems like they did it with the UK scene, you know, where they did NXT
they're about to do it again.
Europe, and then they're about to do it again. Like they mysteriously said, "Hey, we're working on this." 4 or 5 years came by with nothing, not a peep. All of a sudden, the UK scene's refreshed because of them going over there and poaching all their wrestlers after telling them, yeah, you can still wrestle over there. And then actually, no, don't do that. And now all of a sudden it's just convenient that this is coming back around. Like
it's
what somebody said. What somebody said is they're like acquiring like smaller promotions around the world instead of doing like what they had said at one point in time of doing like an NXT, you know, an NXT UK, NXT Japan, and NXT like Mexico or whatever, and they're gonna let them stay as the promotion. So like AAA is gonna stay AAA, but they have to, you know, conform somewhat to the WWE style.
It's not a somewhat, because they're making them sign WWE contracts.
Okay.
They're making them sign WWE contracts. It's not us. It is exactly.
My thing is, yes, have them sign a WWE contract, but let them still wrestle how they wrestle. Like, let it be what it is, but let them be under your umbrella of that way you have different styles coming in.
I knew that they were in trouble when they did the what is it, WWE, the ID program. When they did the ID program and they were incorporating not just promotions but actual schools, like actual wrestling schools, and coming in and taking over those, and not even Booker T was safe. Like there's so much discourse in reality of wrestling right now to the point where like Booker T had no choice but to add it as part of. Booker T's doing what Vince used to do back in the day. Take a real life beef and throw it on TV and throw it on the show for realism. But in actuality, these people actually do really feel like that. Because what's happening is the way the ID program is working, it was supposed to be that the schools were supposed to be able to get help and exposure via the ID program, right? And that the students, were supposed to get these opportunities, yada yada yada. Yeah. What's actually happening is if you become part of the ID program, you're saying, okay, we will allow you to basically inject your ID wrestlers into our school to compete for your belts is what's happening. So now you're taking those opportunities away from these kids that are that have been there and been working and been trying to do things. And I'm gonna tell you from a firsthand experience, going to a wrestling school isn't like signing a contract with NXT or a developmental contract or anything like that. Jin Jun Bao. Yo, let's go. Let's go.
Yes. 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 Yes.
The Daniel Bryan kills me.
I don't know if I butchered your name. I did the best I could. I did the best I could. Welcome in, Jin Jun Bao. You can tell me if I'm wrong or not, and if I am wrong, please let me know. Smurf, I appreciate you, brother Smurf. Thank you so much. I thank you so much for bringing your community over. We are in the middle of our episode 4 of Square Conversations. So if you like wrestling and you or maybe have fallen out of love with it, because we all kind of have had that call it a toxic relationship where
extremely toxic.
We stay faithful and then it beat the shit out of us. We get mad, we say fuck it, and then we leave, and then we come back and we're like, okay, they're not gonna do it again. And then they slap us across the head again, and then we leave again, and then and it's just a complete cycle. So welcome to my safe toxic space. My name is Creole King Kenny. I am the host of Square Conversations. You see my co-host over here, your friend Yates.
Boy.
And we have with us, who just ran to the restroom, we have with us JoAfterWork.
I'm here. Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
All right. So we have Joe after work. A whole toxic relationship. On again, off again. You are completely right. And the funny thing is, the same person that used to own it doesn't even own it anymore, and we're still getting beat upside the head.
That part. Oh man.
So at this point, is it us? Are we the ones that need the help?
Are we the problem?
Yes, we are. We are.
Oh man. Bruh.
We keep supporting them, buying their video games, watching the shows.
Because I mean, if you think about it, like we, as far as WWE,
Talking about the shows.
as far as WWE is concerned, we literally let them say fuck us, and they went to their side bitch across the water. They went to the other country and said we're gonna go get this global money, and left us, and even took some of the live shows with them. So like they completely said fuck us, and we still like okay.
To be fair, our crowds have been dog shit with WWE shows.
I mean, not in
the
Tampa.
Overseas crowds have been amazing for their energy. The American crowds have been dog shit.
Well, I mean, give it a year or two. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Give it a year or two, bro. Those tickets are gonna be like $800 for like nosebleeds in the.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not used to if I'm not used to something and I'm getting it for the first time, yeah, I'm going crazy too.
True,
but wait till that new car scent wear off and shit like that, and the honeymoon phase is over, and now it's time to put in the real work.
True.
Oh
man.
they gonna start being not as lively either. It is what it is. But again, thank you so much for bringing your community over. I'm not really sure because I didn't see the pop up happen, so I don't know what you guys were doing over there. But definitely thank you. I will definitely take care of the community. If you have to do after stream things, feel free. We do love lurkers. If you decide you just want to sit here and lurk and listen, you can definitely do that too. But again, thank you for being here. We were talking about, my brain just went.
I mean,
we were going over.
We got squirrel brains. Like, it happens.
I know we were talking about Willow and
oh yeah.
And the in the main event match.
I do love Willow and have loved Willow ever since I saw her the first time. Like she in that first Netflix show. Man, we were just talking about that, Smurf, about the prices. Bro, WWE said, new phone, who this? I'm trying to tell you, they treating us like side bitches now. Bro, no God. Loyalty at all. But it's been dope to see her. What I don't want to have happen, I don't want her to become the natty of the company.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen, especially with the way things seem to be leading for Sasha with the belt collecting joint, because she's going all in, fighting Tony Storm. I would imagine that would be a title for title, or maybe that's where the story that ends up at. But at least we know that she's going to be going.
Title.
Yeah, like it's going to be for Tony Storm's title, but I wonder if they add a stipulation at some point and just go, hey, title for title, and fuse the belts together, because it does get confusing between the women's title and TBS title sometimes, and her not being around not that she's not around, she's actually around a lot more than the first 6 months that she had that title. The TBS title, I feel like there might be too many titles, and it seems like they're going to try to consolidate some of those. So,
well, there's only what
AEW has too many titles.
There's 2 women's titles, but then the amount of men's titles that are there too, like it starts to add
the
up.
men's titles. Consolidate the men's titles. Don't get away from. Don't take away from the women.
There used to be a point where every match somebody was walking out with a title.
That's actually one thing I was going to ask about, because like I was watching the highlight I saw with Dustin and Sammy. They were carrying titles, and then the Hurt Syndicate also had titles, and I'm like,
yeah, it seems like they're in the process of like consolidating a lot of them, because AEW owns ROH, so you have all the ROH guys.
Gotcha.
But then also ROH is still its own show.
Yep.
But the ROH folks sometimes make appearances on the other shows, so it's kind of like
except for Athena, because they never give Athena TV time when it comes to being on AEW.
Yeah, unless it's Collision,
But the crazy part is, as a person that has been to Athena's matches during her title reign, she carries the fucking show. When people go, if they're going for the women's matches, they're going to see Athena. They want to see Athena, and Athena
the wild thing is, I actually, her debut for AEW, I did watch it, but that was it. Like, I'm gonna be honest, she not being there on AEW regularly, I might have potentially tried to tune in for her matches specifically.
Well, that's because of the title that she at the particular point that you're talking about, the title that she had was not technically not an AEW title. It was like an offshoot.
I would almost say that she is more synonymous with ROH than anything else, and happens to show up on AEW at times. She at that time that she joined in, I feel like she was the intro girl at that point in time, where she had all the fancy intros, and that's what people knew her for, rather than the character that she's developed into now in ROH, with having her minions and stuff like that, and like, being able to grow more as a character. Because her in-ring ability is out of control. That springboard stunner joint, bro.
Nobody can do that shit but her.
Yeah.
There have been people that tried, and either they had to stop doing the move because they almost fucking hurt somebody, or they don't have enough body control. Athena can hit that bitch no matter where you are in the ring, and no matter how much she weighs or you weigh, she can still hit.
She hitting it,
and hit it with perfection. And I've seen Athena fluctuate in weight up and down, up and down, up and down quickly, and still, because as anybody would know, when it comes to aerial moves, your weight, as much as the weight of your opponent, matters greatly. And there was a point, I think maybe 2 years ago, where she was like up and down real rapidly, and she was still hitting that bitch with pinpoint precision. Like,
yeah,
you can't, bro.
yeah. No,
she may not have been on
she's
TV,
great.
but she was the god of Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, she's top tier, and I think once we get to a point where you diminish the amount of titles on the men's side for sure, I think they're going to combine at some point the intercontinental or the international and the continental titles together, because it doesn't make sense to have both of those. You have your AEW Heavyweight Championship, you have your Women's Championship, you have your TBS title, you have your TNT Championship, which I actually haven't seen on. I'm not actually unsure if that title is still in existence now that I think about it, because I think Jack Perry was the last person.
I thought Adam Cole was carrying that title. Like, I saw an entrance that
you might be right.
A title.
Hold on, because I'm trying to see.
Nope.
Because he did walk out with a title. No, you're absolutely right. He actually, that would make all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
And then there's the trios titles as well, which I'm not sure if that gets advertised on Collision, because I don't think I really see it on.
So originally, I thought the trios.
On Dynamite.
Originally,
I
thought
he does
the
have
trios,
the TNT title.
Originally, I thought the trios was a dope idea because it was fresh and it was new. Now, it just seems like a long ass tag match, and tag matches already are iffy at best. They're very hit and miss. Mm-hmm. I think when it comes to having 4 people in a match, the more people that you have in the match, if it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's either going to be chaotic or it's going to be stale. In my opinion, there's no middle ground when it comes to like tag matches and stuff like that. It's either going to be chaotic or it's going to be it was fine.
Yeah. Oh, the Ops have the trios championship. Jesus Christ! See, it's like they got way too many belts in this company for only 3 hours of 3 or 4 hours of TV. Like, bro, we gotta consolidate that a little bit. But yeah, unfortunately, I do think those titles are going to fuse, the TBS and the Women's Championship. They're building up towards Kenny and Kazuchika Okada for sure to combine those titles, the International and the Continental, hands down. TNT Championship kind of just exists, and like that was a title for Cody, and then and then he tried to pass the torch to Sammy. Sammy did Sammy things, and Darby really made that title again, and I think that's the last time that title was really meant.
I might need that explained to me, that Sammy did Sammy things.
Sammy's loud sometimes, and his past kind of came up and haunted him a little bit. And then he also, I guess, his stuff happened, and the person that he got engaged to live on TV is not the person that he is now married to.
Also,
and has a kid with now.
Also.
He's a good guy, but he's just not.
You know that I was saying
conversation.
You know that I was saying that history.
Y'all might need to explain to me with.
You know that I was saying that history kind of repeats itself. Sammy, the version of Sammy that you see on TV. Sometimes lines can be blurry, and certain situations can cause you to revert back into something that you grew out of. and that happened to Sammy. Sammy ran his mouth, or as Joe so eloquently put it, did Sammy things, and needed some counseling, some sensitivity training, and all of that.
I do think that like Jericho, him being under Jericho's wing, I feel like he did learn a little bit and evolved from that. But I feel like every time they push forward, something happened and like he would just randomly disappear. And I know like he just had the kid and everything like that. So like now that he's back, he's with Dustin Rhodes and they're the ROH Tag Team Championships. But like I saw the promo last Wednesday of Dustin and him walking out up against the Hurt Business. Hurt Syndicate, and that was fresh. Give me a break.
We heard
people. And
it's the same group. It's just a different show.
Exactly. Jeff Jarrett even made the same mistake too. They corrected him live on the pre-show. They were like, Syndicate. And then they had to say it out loud.
It's the same group, except they added MJF.
I want to say that in the PLE Sunday they did the same. They did it then too. They called it. They said the Hurt Business.
Yeah, that was Jeff Jarrett. He kept saying Hurt Business. But yeah, like it was one of those things that I thought was weird that Sammy did not say a single word in the promo last Wednesday against the Hurt Syndicate. And I was like, oh, Dustin's doing all the talking. I get it. He's the vet. But like, why isn't Sammy at least interjecting like towards the end or something? Like you put them in a tag team, you would assume that it's the old guard, training the young guy still, because he's still young. He's a baby. Yeah. And he's got plenty of years there for sure to grow. But for him to not say anything was like, oh, he's just second fiddle right now. Like, what's going on there? Like, this dude was considered one of the four pillars for all intents and purposes, as far as like the young guys coming up. Yeah, it was
earlier he was the guy. Like the Rocket was real.
Bro, people were chanting for him. Yeah. He had his panda gimmick going. Like, dude.
We want to talk about growth. MJF. Oh, there was a point in time where everybody knows that there is a line. Like, you can be a heel on TV, but there's a limit to what heels can actually do and get away with. One, MJF had no off switch.
No. He still don't.
Two, I knew somebody was going to have to come in and try to rein him in when he used to, before the show started, he used to walk down to the ring and literally curse out the entire audience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then you could be that ringside seat on the floor that you spent so much money for.
Yeah,
he would, if you were close enough and you were drinking something, he would walk over to you.
Little kid.
He would walk over to you, take your drink from you, and throw it in your face.
Poor little kid.
No, I'm not signing up for me being assaulted. That's assault,
bro. There was no line for MJF.
That is assault. I'm not signing up for that. If I'm paying $500-$600 for a front row seat to your wrestling show and you throw a drink on me,
yeah, I get working the gimmick, but there has to be
I'm
a line.
suing for my money and emotional distress.
Freaking he motorboated someone. Dude's a menace. Yeah.
He definitely did.
He motorboated someone in a pay-per-view.
He definitely did.
The man's wild for sure. Oh my god! But
He
yeah,
definitely did.
that's.
I will say that since maybe since being married, or maybe a little bit after that, is when he started really just like calming down, like at least TV wise. Because for a while,
thing, you know,
for a while, like bro, he knew, and this is a dangerous spot to be in. He knew that he was number one draft pick between WWE and AEW. Mm-hmm. And the thought of the two major companies basically fighting over you because your contract is up put him in a space of him thinking that he was untouchable, and he showed that shit on camera in the middle of the ring. Like Buddy was, like Joe said, Buddy was a menace. Like,
yeah, he's a menace, dog. I love it.
But can deliver the best promos that you probably have seen in a while.
Yeah.
Like as much as you hated MJF, you loved it. Because there was a point in his career where he made the CM Punk pipe bombs look like a talk between a mother and her child. Like, bro, Buddy was on one for a good minute, and his promos, like, they couldn't be touched, and he could back it up in the ring. Like, he had in-ring capability.
He's one of those people that I honestly would not mind seeing him in a WWE ring, because there's already so many people he can have stories with over there. And I am just waiting for the day where and I mean, honestly, maybe that boat has sailed, but I mean, give it another couple of years, however long this contract is, I can easily see him going to WWE and going right to the main roster, and people knowing who he is, and like, you could just build all these stories about it. Because the one thing that he knows how to do, aside from getting himself over, is getting his opponent over, even when they're losing, and showing that even if it's like a feud where it's really short and it's just to get to the next thing, he will fill you in on what this dude's background is, what he's been through, what they've gone through, and give them their credit while down talking them as a heel at the same time. Right. His character is like perfect for that. I'm gonna say all these good things, but you're still a piece of shit at the end of the day, and I'm gonna beat you.
Who was that? Was it the Punk promo, or was it the Jericho promo? I can't remember. It was the promo where he like was saying that, like, as a child I idolized you, and
that was definitely Punk, yeah.
Like, and he did said all of these great things, like, and really made you emotionally invested in like what he was saying, and then hit you with the big old fuck you at the end, and you're like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Bro, like, dude is like, and it's just he's in interviews, he's expressed, wanting to have feuds or do matches with some of the current guys in WWE. And he wants those dream matches. But I think his hesitation is, will they let me be me?
No,
over there.
They won't.
Yeah. It is a different period. It's just hard. It's like,
they'll let him be a watered down version of himself.
Yes, that part.
Because
him with limitations. But what
MJF,
are those limitations?
It's hard to like, as much as
they have to
as much
appease
as
the
we,
advertisers still too.
As much as we talk about MJF and how great we feel like he is, unfortunately, MJF is not PG material.
No, but you can definitely make that character PG. I mean, you take away the motorboating and like him cursing. It's essentially, and I hate that I'm quoting it, but like it's essentially like a more edgy Miz.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Punk was not wrong in that statement, and I hate that.
You know what? A completely let the leash off, unmuzzled, proper program between Miz and MJF would be amazing.
I think they can
because
crap talk each other.
Because when Miz is passionate about the storyline that he's in, you can tell when Miz is actually feeling what he's doing. Because when he's feeling what he's doing, the mic is too hot to touch.
Mm-hmm.
Then when he's not feeling it, it just comes off as corny.
Yeah. That part.
And so, God. Like, I was afraid, like when they changed MJF's character into kind of like what he is now and kind of how he's maneuvering around the Hurt Syndicate, I was afraid of him sliding into that type of pocket because part of me felt like it kind of undermined what he's the big bad wolf that he has always been.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, for a while, like earlier AEW said it best, he was the devil incarnate. and so now he's like this pick me sniveling.
So I was actually going to ask, what's the deal with MJF being with the Hurt Syndicate? Because like seeing him in their entrance, it was kind of like to translate it with the mouth, like for me with mouth, it was kind of like seeing Lewis with BU.
I think
it was like, what is he doing with?
So here's the thing. I think it's happening for two reasons. One, because MJF has never had has never been in a pocket like this before, and it's giving him a way to flex a muscle that we don't really see very often. Two, these three gentlemen are really good friends in real life. And to keep from, I mean, yeah, we could have, when it's time for them to break up, we can have Lashley turn on them, but that's been done already many times. We could have MVP turn on them, but that's been done already. As a matter of fact, that's what we expect. You know what I mean? Adding MJF gives us a MJF gonna fuck this up, and then they can come with the sidewinder and just go any direction that they want to. I that's what I kind of feel is like he's there for that. We know this can't last forever, and dollars to donuts, MJF is going to be the one, but I don't think it's going to be MJF.
It's one of those things because like MJF was in the Pinnacle, and he also had his thing with Jericho, where he was in the Inner Circle for a moment there too. But him like chasing down the Hurt Syndicate and wanting to join them so bad because him and MVP have history. It's been a joy to watch, but it makes me wonder if this is the holdover for Cedric Alexander to eventually come in, because I think his 90 days are up, or he's at least like a free agent by now. And I've been avoiding Twitter. I keep wanting to go over and hit refresh to see if anything pops up because I feel like that's going to be sooner than later, and they're going to kick him out.
I think All In is where that happens. Because think about it.
It's not that far.
Because think about it. Fresh off of, you need a surprise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fresh off of his 90 day, get acclimated, have your secret meetings with Tony, get that out of the way.
Yeah.
All In is your WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You gotta have something happen. And whether you love him or hate him, whenever you hear a theme song, I bet you singing along. We hurt people. They're a thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So, like, it's one of those things where it's like, if it's gonna happen, it kind of almost has to happen at All In.
Yeah.
Because of what All In is. And to be perfectly honest, before we get too far, I really got to say thank you, because I did not remember how much I enjoyed AEW until I had to watch Double or Nothing. That was like, I kind of missed this.
It's fun, you know?
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I kind of missed this style of and presentation of wrestling. Like, it's almost like,
it's not perfect, you know?
Right. It's stuck in that attitude era with
Discord watch
and
parties. If you do Discord watch parties, I will be there. I'm not going to guarantee I will, show enthusiasm, but I will watch it.
I don't believe you not one bit, because I offered you 2 days, 2 separate days.
Yesterday, I was tired.
I was like, hey, I could either do it this day or this day. You pick, and we can do it. Well,
listen.
I got the
Monday. I had the AMAs and Monday Night Raw, and then yesterday I went to sleep.
Valid.
I went
valid. It's.
I fell asleep during NXT.
Listen, Jean went to sleep too, but she still watched the show.
Yeah. Ooh. I actually gotta do better by hanging out in Discord in general.
It's one of those things where it's like, I like wrestling. Like, it doesn't matter the company to me. Like, if it's good, if it's fun, if it has a good story to it too, I'm there. Like, I'll watch whatever. I watched 2 invisible people fight in a wrestling ring while the ref. Yeah. It's as dumb as it sounds. It is as dumb as it sounds, but it's the greatest thing on the planet. And it's a 15-minute match.
I didn't see the two invisible people. I saw a person wrestle a person who I won't, because I'm sad to say who it is, but I saw a person wrestle a blow up doll, and I saw a person wrestle an 8-year-old girl.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens. That's Japan. But yeah, no, it's like, as long as you're enjoying yourself at the end of the day, and like not, it's very easy to get into the jaded side of the IWC and just be like, what the heck? Why isn't such and such getting this push? Why is this person doing this thing? This person's always hurting X, Y, and Z. It's just like, sometimes you gotta like turn that part of the brain off and enjoy it for what it is. Yeah, we can definitely make the criticisms because there are some valid criticisms over there, but to like just be able to sit there and enjoy something and not know like anything of what's going on but what's in that moment, there's something special about that if you can get hooked on that way.
I think my issue is it's hard for me not to break down the match as it's happening. Like like I'm like, oh, this person is working really safe. It's like, oh, they missed that by a mile. Or like,
it's fun to call them out sometimes, like, yeah,
like, and like it I will sit there, watch a match and dissect it. And I'm gonna tell you, because we didn't even touch on Saturday Night Main Event, which to me personally was a big yarn fest. After watching Double or Nothing, unfortunately, the WWE of it all didn't come close.
Oh, I'm aggravated and pissed off at them because, one women's match, it was super fucking short. Yes, I understand one of the reasons it was cut short was because of the injury, but at the same time, they didn't let them go. I know that they can go.
But to be perfectly honest, the entire pay-per-view felt rushed. The entire pay-per-view felt like it was boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's hard too because that was a TV show event, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or was that Netflix?
It was
it was a Peacock. It was Saturday Night Main Event. So it was one of their technically premium live events.
Okay, dang. So then,
what they did was they took the show that used to happen on like some weird day, like Saturday or Sunday, and they turned it into a PLE of sorts. But
so it used to be Saturdays because they wouldn't air SNL on NBC for wrestling.
And then
is what the backstory, because every Saturday Night Main Event they show the old commercial of Saturday Night Live will no longer be airing tonight, and it'll instead you'll get Saturday Night Main Event. I'm like, oh, they used to cancel SNL for wrestling?
That's interesting.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's actually insane.
That's a bit of history I didn't know.
That's actually insane.
But
when you think about how long SNL has been running, that is insane behavior.
That's wild.
So my issue with Saturday Night Main Event was the women's match was announced last minute. I think it got announced that Friday night. It might not even have been announced until Saturday morning.
Damn.
Why?
That's late.
You had no women. That was the only women's match you had. You announced it last minute. It felt super rushed. It felt super short. You didn't let them go. Yes, there was the one botch, but there's still so much more that they can do. Chelsea Green can put on a good match. Zelina Vega can put on a good match. You just have to let them do what they do.
Well, the problem is
stop forcing her to do Rey Mysterio's moves because he was a mentor to her for a year and some change.
Yeah.
Yes, let her pay homage to him with doing moves, but stop forcing it. It feels like it's forced that she does them.
Yeah. And that's the part that they consider, but it's storytelling. And yeah, to an extent, but also let her be her. Like
Right.
you guys put the title on her for a reason, right? Like let her get some freedom for a moment here and let her rock it out. Let's see what she can do as Zelina, not as the former LWO trainee, you know?
True. Yeah, it's I don't know. It that match in particular, a lot of the blame outside of the injury, a lot of the blame I feel has to go to just what the event was in general.
Yeah.
Because I would have thought otherwise if it was like actually airing on TV. I would have been like, oh, there's probably like 50 million ad breaks, and maybe that's why. But if it was on Peacock, okay, yeah, they have ad breaks, but not like that.
Right.
So, funny thing you mention ad breaks. I just opened Instagram and there was a screenshot of Deanna Purrazzo's tweet. Somebody asked her, "Hey, are you going to be on TV tonight?" Like, I don't know why. Like, just like a fan, like, "Are you actually going to be on TV tonight?"
Dang.
And she actually responded, "Yeah, probably in the picture-in-picture." Because I'm assuming that's when her matches happen, is during picture-in-picture commercial breaks.
They do it a lot. I haven't paid attention enough to whether it specifically a lot during the women's matches, but they do a lot of picture-in-picture in general. Throughout Dynamite and throughout Collision. But that is an interesting thing. I might have to look into that a little bit more and see if it's specific match types.
I originally appreciated the picture-in-picture thing originally, because there was clear, like, dang, one person was having the upper hand, and then the break happened, and now the other person, something happened, and now the other person has the upper hand, and it's like, well, dang, what the hell happened? But now it's happening so much now to where, like, it almost kind of feels like, because like now picture-in-picture happens not just during matches, but picture-in-picture happens
during promos,
during entrances. If a match is short enough, you miss a whole goddamn
yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's
like,
some pivotal moments sometimes. Like usually they get told, and that's WWE as well, like when they're going on break and stuff like that. And usually it's slow down, but when those picture-in-picture moments happen, there's a lot of like high-paced stuff sometimes that happens, and I'm like, oh. Whereas like when AEW first started, they used the picture-in-picture in like the most hilarious ways, where like Sammy Guevara would come out and he'd have cue cards, and his music would be playing during the commercial break for everybody else is watching on the satellite feed, but then he'd be like doing a promo talking smack, but using cue cards to do, like, they did smart stuff like that, right. And they really like were really creative about it, and I felt like that is the alternative stuff that I do miss about AEW, because they really were just like 5 dudes in a room writing shit out and like, hey, let's see what happens, you know? And some of it worked, some of it didn't, and I understand the need for change, but like, use it for creative stuff like that, as opposed to always it being the matches, you know? Do some behind the stage scene thing where like someone's getting attacked in the back during the middle of the ad break or something like that. Oh crap, what the hell's going on? And then they can explain it to you when they come back, continue to feud, you know, throughout the night or something, and build the story that way.
I feel like there was a point in time where they outside of AEW, they used to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then now it's kind of like, no, they just...
Like, I remember there was a time with WWE, like, when SmackDown was on Sci-Fi, during commercial breaks, you were able to still continue to watch on, like, the network or something. Like, you could go to the network and still watch the show during the commercial breaks.
It was or you could go to the WWE app. There was like, I think they call it like Sidekick or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was something like that. It wasn't the network because I don't think WWE
app.
Network was a thing yet.
You could open up the app and still watch through the commercial break, but it had to be, and that was, I felt like that was mutually beneficial because it drew a lot of your one, and it made the app blow up because now it's a necessity, and two, like that was back in the day when they were actually counting how many, not just downloads, but how many people were actually using the app, and so that would drive those numbers as well. Like it, I don't know,
because I sure enough during SmackDown when a commercial would happen, I would go to my phone, I would watch I would continue watching what was going on while I was making a snack, and then I'd get back up to my room to finish watching the show on the TV.
That is something I wish I knew.
Those were the breaks.
R.I.P. the WWE Network, dude. Damn. Yeah.
It was a nice time. It was definitely a nice time. Loved it. Loved it. Man.
Yeah.
We didn't get through half the shit.
Hey, but it gave you something new, you know, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. That it's like one thing to watch it, but to watch it and like you're like, hold up, maybe I might tap in a little bit more. Watch a few. I feel like that's what always happens.
Yeah, I'm definitely tapping in a lot more.
Freaking I was talking to Jelani, this was like months ago, where I was like, dude, just jump in a Discord, just watch one. And all of a sudden one day I hear him, he's like talking about like Swerve, and then he's talking about, you know, X, Y, and Z wrestler, and I'm like, yeah, dude, like tap in. And now he's going to indie shows, and I'm like, bro, that's what I want to hear. It's like not just about AEW, but like embrace yourself in all the wrestling, dude. There's so much out there, and there's something for everybody, honestly. Yeah, like there's more to the world than just WWE and even AEW at this point.
Absolutely.
So Kenny, send me the Willow stuff that you want me to actually watch, and some Eddie Kingston stuff, and I will watch them. I will actually react in Discord. Sims, you can hold me accountable as well. I will, we can do it in the Squared Convos Discord chat. That way I can be held accountable.
Hell yeah.
I actually found out today that Joe has his own Discord. Like, I have been reaching out to Joe from emails, and then popping up in his chat to remind him, hey, check your email. Hey,
oh goodness, you were doing old school messaging.
Yeah, and it was crazy because his first one popped up in my spam, and I was like, email, what the hell are you talking about? I was like,
not the spam.
I cleared my shit earlier, and then I see it, and I'm like, nah, we got to correct this right now.
And then, it's you and one other person that is coming on the show later, that you guys are so busy that it's hard to get a hold of you.
I'm sorry.
And so like, but I knew that going in, especially with you. I knew that going in because you're doing your fitness thing. You actually have an act, like your name JoAfterWork, because you actually have a job. This Twitch thing is not what you do for a living. And so like, and then given, where you are geographically, it can be rough. You know what I mean? So
the time difference and everything.
Right. So I'm like, all right. And so like, I knew that going in, that getting a hold of you wasn't going to be the easiest thing in the world. But I was like, regardless of where he's like, regardless of what day he wants, regardless of what time he wants, this has got to happen.
No, y'all the best for that one.
We were going to wait to work out.
Freaking yeah, no. Had I known, because I know how some people have like very particular methods of like how they communicate. Bro, Twitter is the worst for me because everyone gets thrown into spam. Like they don't give a like. Twitter does not give anybody a chance. The amount of opportunities that I missed out on because shit was in spam, bro. I was like.
Same.
It don't. Yeah, I'm surprised I saw the one that you showed me today because it had a link. Anything with a link always ends up in the nether realms.
even that. So Twitter would do one or two things. Very rarely will the inbox actually come through. It will either be in that nether realm called spam.
Yep.
Or Twitter will lock the DMs down, and people will message me in other ways and say, "I can't send you a message; it won't let me." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, it is my account, but I don't know what's going on with with the DM.
Yeah, like sometimes it'll auto set it so you have to be like following or something like that to be able to DM them. Or like if you have them open, sometimes it'll just not, and everything ends up into spam for some reason, one or another. But freaking yeah, Discord. I generally will always be able to reach out like faster than most other things, but there are days where I'm just like, okay, I can't get to that yet, but I do see it. I'm gonna get to it before I go to bed. Even if it's at 2 a.m. and I'm in bed, I'm catching up on everything.
I knew this was gonna be fun. Like I knew. I also
thanks for
knew.
Inviting me. Shoot.
I also knew that we weren't gonna get through everything. Like I even said that. I think I even said that before we started. I was like,
"Yeah,
this is like."
When do we ever actually fully go through? Like, when was the last episode we got fully through?
Season 2. The middle part.
That's what I'm saying. When was the last time we actually?
Season 3. Like I was telling Joe, season 3 will start with wrestling and then completely veer off into something else. Like
that's the journey, though.
Like with episode 1, it started with wrestling, and then we started talking about men's mental health, and like it was. Don't get me wrong, I like that though because this is the content that I myself like. I can go back and listen or watch these shows, and I personally enjoy. And I think
I went back and listened to like I was driving around for work like a few weeks ago, and I went back and started listening to the episode that we had Mel on. And I'm like, I don't like listening to my own voice, but I was like, you know what? I can deal with it since I'm listening to Kenny and Mel talking too.
Also, I didn't tell you this before, but for us only having 3 episodes up on the audio platforms, we are doing very well.
Okay.
At least with the numbers that Spotify is reporting. So we have a whole other audience that is listening to us.
We're doing something.
Right.
Hey,
we're doing something right.
That's what's up, man. It's like, yeah, everyone. It's easy to fall in the line of like every other wrestling podcast that'll talk about like, the show and stuff like that. But when you can bounce around and then come back to it, you got something special, dude.
I'm trying out here, man. It's listen, but I will echo the sentiment that Sims just put in chat. Bro, you are welcome back here anytime you get good damn ready.
Yo, thank you.
I was gonna say, yeah. I think you're one of the 3 people that have open. I think you're one of 3 or 4 people that have an open invitation.
Hell yeah!
It might be 3, might be 4.
It might be.
I know
4. Danny,
1. Mel,
Push Play.
Look, if Yates is gonna watch AEW, I gotta tap in a little bit more on WWE. All right, I promise next time.
No, listen. AEW,
I will give it a
AEW is fine. AEW is fine. It's been a pleasure.
So give me women's matches, and that's that. I will stick to that. You know, that promise. Give me women's.
One wrestler.
Tony Storm.
I was just about to say it. Wait, no.
Give me women's matches.
You have to say it. You have to say it. Timeless Tony Storm.
Chins up, tits out, and what?
I am here. I am queer, and I am.
Oh my god. Yo,
yeah,
so
I love Tony Storm when she was in NXT and like NXT UK. I need to get back on like
no.
I need to start.
No. You have to call her by what she calls herself. Classy bloody bitch.
No, you have to watch like her descent into that character because it makes Timeless Tony Storm just that much better. That whole like the lead into that is just that and Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa.
Oh my god.
I think it was either Falls Count Anywhere or Iron. I think it was an Iron Woman match or something like that. But yo,
Britt Baker.
They went in.
Britt Baker is special because she's a wrestler, but she's also a licensed and currently practicing dentist, not dental assistant. Yeah. She is a
full-on dentist.
She's the one person who can say that her gimmick is her actual life.
Yeah. Like, so the story goes...
I do know that much.
The story goes that she wanted to pursue wrestling. Her parents wanted her to be a dentist because they were paying for dental school. And she was like, all right, then, fuck it. I'm
going to do both.
I'm going to do both. And she hid the wrestling thing from her parents for a while. Until they ended up I think she said they ended up just seeing it. I can't remember what she said in the interview because it's been a while since the interview aired. What's going on, bro? How you feeling?
Somebody gonna get their ass kicked,
bro.
Somebody gonna get the.
So in 2022 for Thanksgiving, I was on my way to Hawaii and we were flying out of the airport in Austin and Mark Henry was being wheelchaired.
Huh?
So and I felt so bad because I fanboyed so hard that I was stumbling over my words as he was flying past me. I was like, Mark Henry!
Oh my god. Yo.
Oh my god.
Oh crap.
He was late for his flight. And so the people that worked at the airport were running him through the airport.
Wow. Sheesh.
Because he was going, we flew out to Hawaii on Thanksgiving Day. And he was going to his daughters to be with his grandkids on Thanksgiving Day. And we just kind of like did this. And I was like, I know goddamn, like I saw him coming my way. And I was like, I know goddamn well that it is Mark Henry. Bro, that shit was hilarious.
Damn. No, they were doing the speed run to the next one.
Right. And I could not get the words, can I have a picture? And I had my phone in my hand. And I could not get the words, can I have a picture out of my mouth?
Oh.
Like at all. It just wouldn't come. It was a shameful day.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, did Danny tell you about what happened with me at the WWE shop at when we were in Atlanta
No, you did.
during Bad Blood?
You did.
So, I told you about it.
Yep.
We were walking out of the shop. As we were walking out, Liv Morgan was walking in. I ended up spinning around. Like, I almost, knocked into her.
Damn.
And I didn't notice. I didn't recognize who it was. And, I ended up pivoting to point something out. And if I wouldn't have pivoted to point something out, I would have ran into her. Physically collided with her.
Not you about to get bodied by security.
I am mad. I was mad about it.
Bro.
And Danny was like, you almost walked right into Liv Morgan.
The last WWE live show I went to, which was several years ago, Booker T took my phone.
Huh?
Booker T took my phone. So this was back in the days where you could you could take pictures, but you could not video. And he caught me videoing, and he came out of the ring, walked up to my seat, and snatched my shit, and walked back in the ring, and and went back to, because he was a commentator that night, but he was also kind of announcing that match, and he took my shit.
Damn. Nah, that's wild.
Yeah. The only reason I have proof that I was even there that night is because at that time I was a Samsung person, and the video happened to be in the Samsung cloud. We're getting evil looks from
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we gotta wrap this up.
Unfortunately, I do have to be at work at 4 a.m.
Oof.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And 4 a.m. your time, which it's 11:30 now your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 11:30 for me too. Yeah. Man,
this was absolute fun. Again, like I said, awesome. and I mean it. You are welcome back anytime you get good and goddamn ready.
No,
thank you for saying yes. I hope that we presented a platform, because I know that people do, the whole podcasting, and I know that a lot of people do the whole wrestling podcast thing, but hopefully we presented an environment and an experience that's unlike anything that you've been around before.
No, for sure. I like the just the nonchalant banter of we go in and out of the wrestling and then talk about a different thing and then coming back to it. This is very much my vibe. But no, seriously, thank you for inviting me. I always try to make time for anyone who wants to do stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just hard for me because of whether it's work or it's projects that I'm in the middle of that I'm working on, right, that I always don't get a moment to do stuff like this. So I'm nah, I want to do this. I just need to literally pull it out as far out as I can, so that way I can be all right, nah, this is the date, I gotta stick to this. No, right, we're doing this because I'm not booking anything else.
That's why I reached out.
I want to do some nonsense.
That's why I reached out to you when I did, because I was this will be far enough in advance to where if he wants to do it, unless something just happens, like happenstance,
something crazy last minute,
crazy last minute or something, he'll be able to do it. And so like, not quite a year out, but we had this plan for quite a while.
I was like, didn't he hit me up about this a while back? And then I was like, I'm just like trying to remember. All right, so that did happen. I was like, I didn't want to bring it up because like maybe this was someone else, but I was like, no, wait, hold up, okay, yeah, all right, it was a year ago.
Sometimes you got to plan certain shows well in advance.
Yeah,
that way you and the guest have plenty enough time to make sure. All right. This date's locked in.
I felt like this had to happen the way it did. That was perfect timing. The pay-per-views both just happened. Right. So I was like,
and that wasn't on purpose.
Nah.
That wasn't even on purpose. We didn't, at the time that we were planning this, we didn't even know about those pay-per-views.
Oh, man, dude, yeah. Because I was like, I know we were trying to plan originally, and I knew I was going to PAX. So I was like, okay, I can't do it then. But like, dude, yeah, these pay-per-views lining up. This is gold.
Yeah.
And y'all got to watch AEW. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, that was, like I said, I'm a believer again. Now, whether or not the abusive boyfriend goes upside my head again, that remains to be seen. But I think
this next month will be worth the watch because it's now the lead up to All In, because All In is in July. Mm-hmm. So these next like 5-6 weeks, they're going to be the final lead ups to a lot of stuff. So this is like the perfect time to jump in. If like Double or Nothing was basically the Royal Rumble to a shorter road for WrestleMania, and All In is going to be like the culmination of all these stories that they've built out over like the last year. Mm-hmm. Some of it even longer than that. Some of it going all the way back to the beginning of AEW with Hangman versus John Moxley for the title, where it's like, okay, Hangman, the best written character in this entire federation, can he finally do it, save AEW from the guys that have held this title hostage for the better part of a year now? And
hostage.
Yeah, he literally has the title in a briefcase. It's not been seen ever since he's won this title. He put it in a briefcase and he's been holding on to it.
Here's the thing. The thing though. The thing is, it's literally the storyline that John Cena is attempting to do, but better.
Yeah. Yeah. And granted, I will say some of it has not made sense. It's only made sense these last few weeks.
Because like when
they finally got back on track.
When he first started like the whole Death Riders thing, and when he, his promo was, we need to make wrestling good again, and the only way to make it good again is to destroy it, aka ruin wrestling. It's John Cena's gimmick, but done better.
Yeah,
because even
last year,
and because even in the missteps that they've had in building it, and the only reason I know about it as much as I do is because while I don't follow AEW, I do follow John Moxley.
If there's anyone to follow.
There's never a dull moment, let me tell you. But even with the missteps that they've had in building this, it's still 10 times better than this ruined wrestling retirement tour that John's on.
The people want to cheer him on so bad.
Retirement.
Yeah. They want to set him off in the sunset proper.
Retirement.
Yeah. He'll have a match in Saudi Arabia in a few years, and
that Saudi chick.
And then we'll pretend to forget about it.
Even goddamn Booker T, who said that he would never step in the he would never go back to WWE, step in a WWE ring again. As a wrestler, said that if that Saudi chick called, if that Saudi chick called, I'm in there.
Oh, it's on like that.
Now we got Trick Williams doing the Spinneroonie.
Do it.
Give it to him. All right, Sims. All right.
We getting fussed at.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Before you get sent to the couch tonight, dog.
Before we go, do you have any words that you would like to leave everybody with?
I mean, whew. Loaded question.
Or either that or tell us what's going on, to anything you got coming up, anything like that.
Plotting a few things. I got to get back on finishing up a cosplay for Vincent Valentine for Final Fantasy VII. Ooh. So I'm working on that.
That's one of my favorite characters. I'm trying to plot out.
What happened?
That's one of my favorite characters in Final Fantasy.
He's my favorite character in that game. I'm planning on another charity event. I'll have more details on that later, though, because it's very much in the infancy stages of that one. I like to get chaotic with those and bring a bunch of people on board. So you may get a knock on your door.
Okay, that's fine. Absolutely.
Whatchamacallit? As far as parting words, yeah. I mean, for anybody that hasn't gotten into wrestling, whether it's because of like, oh, it's fake, or it's predetermined and stuff like that, like give it a shot. You might find some interesting stories in there, or you might find a story that might be either the most nonsensical thing or the greatest story in all of wrestling to you. And if you can find that one thing, it's like because music background, listening to a song you don't like and finding the one thing in there that makes you want to listen to it over and over again. Sometimes it takes that, it's like for some people, beer is an acquired taste, and it takes the one beer to figure out if that's the one for you, sort of thing, or that one drink. That's what wrestling is. It's a mix match of different drinks at a bar, and sometimes there's one that is your comfort one, and you'll find it in there. I guarantee it.
I always say
it's a little bit of everything for everyone.
I always say that there's no better time to be a wrestling fan than right now, because there's so much content. There's more content airing than a person can take in and still have a life.
Yeah. Especially with how much wrestling there is now. Whew, there is no shortage.
Evolve just had, Evolve's on Tubi. They just crowned their first. They just crowned their first ever women's champion. I haven't watched it yet, but I'll watch that probably at work.
Holy moly!
That's crazy. Cause
damn, Tubi got wrestling now. That's bro. I didn't even know that's all right now.
Me either. That's new to me. I knew Evolve was a thing, but I didn't know where it was.
Yeah, it's on Tubi.
Because like NWA is on YouTube, and so
okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
and so
Evolve is on Tubi. The Fatal 4-Way for their women's title is Wendy Chu, Kylie Ray, and two other, I don't know the other two women. They're nuts. Evolve wrestlers.
That's nuts.
Jesus.
Kendall Gray and one other person. Those are the only three names I can remember. Callie Armstrong, I think, was the other name.
Well,
but yeah, Tubi is where Evolve is.
I now have one more thing I can watch on Tubi outside of the very questionable movies that are on there.
Glad to give you something else to watch on Tubi.
Oh man, dude, I love bad movies. It's a guilty pleasure. So like, yeah, I will be frequenting Tubi now a little bit more.
Tubi, I need sponsorship for this.
For real.
I am plugging TV shows for y'all. Give me sponsorships.
Oh my gosh.
This is not a paid advertisement.
So in rating, I think we're gonna go catch the tail end of Mouth, and see what those guys are up to over there. That's kind of part of the reason why I usually don't do this on Wednesdays, because I don't want to. I'm usually in attendance, even though I don't say anything. So I'm usually watching. But yeah, we can go and see the tail end of it. Thank you guys for.
I'm usually already snoring by now.
Thank you, Kohlberg. We're gonna go to Kohlberg 9. He's rating out.
Oh,
all
shoot.
right. Well, shit.
Dang, the show's
I
already
hope he don't raid me.
Emergence had somewhere to go, didn't it?
Because if he raid me, we got a problem. Oh snap! I know where I'm going.
Uh-oh.
Don't y'all tell this person that's where we going either. I know how y'all are. Don't tell this person.
Are we going to?
But we going to Rosa called Messi. Rosa, the community's thorny flower. Yeah, that's where we're going. I have not ever rated her, and she's been working really, really hard, and now she has a time to. Yeah, that's true. Let me go ahead and do it. Give me 1 second. Where is she? Jesus Christ. Why is she not on this list? Oh, there she is. She's a vibe. She's a really good person. We love her. So we're gonna go and do that. Next guest to be on the show. He who is without identification.
Oh.
I literally just beat him for my title back. So this should be fun.
¿En qué año estamos? ¿Qué año? Menuda pregunta.
Sims,
Nothing
get
happened,
ready to clip everything.
De la peregrinación de Fuente del Dragón.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much. Love y'all.
Hace 3 años.
And
¿Qué ha ocurrido?
we out of here. We gone.
Funcionó. Viejo.
King Kenny in the ring, Yates by his side.